Immortal Cultivation begins with gaining a superhuman constitution. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 276 Ancient Thunder Dragon. Lightning flashed like a waterfall, and the world suddenly brightened. Su Poman bore the brunt of the lightning, instantly engulfed. The surrounding void shattered. Strands of terrifyingly powerful lightning instantly pierced his protective biofield and impacted his flesh. A mouthful of blood spurted from Su Poman's mouth. This bolt of lightning was over 10 times more powerful than the previous one, enough to annihilate an ordinary Mahayana cultivator. In a mountain valley tens of millions of miles away from the calamity clouds, a pavilion forged from jasper suddenly emerged from the rising mist. Within it, a tall, imposing middle-aged man slowly opened his eyes, a gleam of light glimmering from them. What a terrifying heavenly tribulation! Who is undergoing this calamity to cause such a commotion? Modeo slowly closed his eyes, seemingly resigned to his fate, waiting for the thunder to strike. However, after waiting for a long time, he realized he was still alive and instinctively opened his eyes. Above him, a 2-meter-tall, humanoid ball of lightning hovered. Even a tiny sliver of the terrifying tribulation lightning would be enough to shatter his soul. They actually blocked it, his face etched with disbelief. Though injured, Su Poman felt a surge of clarity, as if he had drunk a vat of ice water on a summer's day. His various blood vessels seemed to be merging. Within a few breaths, his injuries, fueled by his powerful healing ability, were completely healed. Due to his adaptive evolution, every cell in Su Poman's body was mutating and evolving, slowly adapting to the divine tribulation thunder. Come again. Su Poman raised his head and gazed at the purple tribulation cloud. Beneath the dark red sky, the purple tribulation cloud churned and swirled, flashing with lightning. Soon, a tribulation lightning bolt, like a giant purple dragon, descended. Someone could vaguely see the majestic figure approaching it. Boom! The cultivators present saw nothing but white before their eyes, followed by a deafening roar. At this moment, Su Poman was completely engulfed by the tribulation lightning. The terrifying lightning charred him from the outside to the inside, leaving him like a huge piece of black charcoal. A crisp sound, like a shell crackling, echoed. Then, another muffled thud echoed. The layer of black charcoal was shattered into a cloud of black ash. Su Poman waved his hand, blowing it away. Ha ha ha, come again. His face was rosy now, no longer showing any signs of serious injury. Seeing this, many of the crouching cultivators began to flee. This demon was too abnormal, impossible to defeat. If it survived the tribulation, they would be doomed. Su Poman sneered, plucked dozens of hairs, and scattered them toward the horizon. Instantly, they transformed into dozens of fire apes clad in green armor, blocking the disciples of the Heavenly Soul sect. At this moment, the tribulation clouds above them gathered again, increasing tenfold in size. A terrifying flash of lightning flashed, transforming into a pillar of thunder that descended with a roar. This time, the divine thunder was even more powerful. Su Poman felt intense pain radiating from every part of his body, as if being shattered by 1,000 blades. Ah! Su Poman roared to the heavens within the lightning column, his mouth and nose filled with lightning, the destructive energy continuously shattering and fragmenting his body. Su boy, are you alright? Tian Lingzi asked nervously. While Su Poman was still conscious, he quickly transmitted a message. It's okay, Xian Leo. Just keep your heart to yourself and don't worry about me. I'm very strong. After a few breaths, the lightning column disappeared, leaving only a skeleton in its place. Modeo's spirit had completely dissipated within the lightning column. Is he finally dead? Only a skeleton remains. Even if he's not dead, he's probably not far off. He died well. Heaven has mercy on this evil creature, slaying him. Look, the calamity clouds in the sky haven't dissipated yet. This monster must still be alive. With his body destroyed, how can he possibly rise again? The next thunderbolt will surely shatter his soul. As everyone was discussing this, the skeleton's fingers twitched slightly. Strands of blood quickly emerged from the bones, interweaving and slowly forming into pieces of flesh. Internal organs, skin, and hair within his abdomen were all being regenerated. Such injuries were nothing to Su Poman. As long as a single cell remained, he could recover with incredible speed. This was one of the abilities of his doomsday zombie progenitor form, regeneration. An even more powerful aura emerged from his flesh, and Su Poman felt his newly born body become even more formidable. His strength, speed, and defense had increased several times, greatly enhancing his overall strength. Whereas before, Su Poman had relied on his ability to stop time to slay tribulation-crossing cultivators, now, he possessed the strength to face them head-on. After a moment's reflection, he understood the reason for his increased strength. His near-death state had activated his Super Saiyan S cells, increasing his combat power exponentially. Ha, it seems I need to fight more and commit more deaths. That's the fastest way to increase my combat power. Su Poman's expression was filled with excitement, as he recalled the battle puppets within the Cheyenne Bayo Phantom Spirit Tower and the demonic forces across the star regions. It won't be long before I am invincible in the lower realms. Tian Lingzi, now within the Golden Palace, observed the scene outside with a look of surprise. This kid, how many hidden cards does he still have up his sleeves that he hasn't shared with me? An old man, the cultivators present were stunned by the scene. With only a skeleton left of his flesh, he's managed to recover as before. What kind of monster is this? The Fire Ape tribe doesn't have such powerful abilities, right? He can't really force his way through the tribulation, right? Then we're doomed, don't be afraid. The tribulation has 9 levels of thunder, and this is only the 4th. He'll definitely be unable to withstand the next level. High in the sky, purple tribulation clouds swirled, and terrifying energy gathered, creating a suffocating pressure. Boom. The 5th terrifying column of lightning poured down, its terrifying destructive energy continuously washing over Su Poman's newly grown flesh. To everyone's astonishment, despite the thunder's power being significantly increased this time, it failed to cause significant damage to Su Poman's body. A microscope would reveal that every cell in Su Poman's body was shimmering with a hint of purple light, indicating a significant resistance to the thunder. The might of the heavens was so overwhelming that all living beings bowed their heads, daring not to act rashly. Only Su Poman stood tall in the void, gazing up at the heavens. Under the dark crimson sky, the fiery red hair blazed like flames. This power isn't enough. Su Poman suddenly had an idea, and he began to chant. The spiritual energy within his body rapidly circulated in a strange pattern, entangled with each other, gradually undergoing subtle changes. Flashes of lightning emerged from the fire-attributed spiritual energy, and an inexplicable force began to gather around his fingers. The 3 gods nurture the essence, Jinxiao rectifies the punishment. Issue a command, and the stars will respond. Save you, Thunder God, and move the wind and thunder. Te Immortal Lord, summon your true spirit. Arrive at a call, descend upon the imperial court. After reciting the incantation, Su Poman extended 2 fingers and gently tapped the sky. The force condensed between his fingers inexplicably connected heaven and earth, and a blinding white light blazed in the air. What is he doing? This is the minor heavenly thunder technique. He's trying to use the power of the heavenly tribulation to annihilate us. Flee! The cultivators were horrified. Under immense pressure, they all stood up and fled outside the sect at this moment. Su Poman yanked his fingers downwards, his spiritual sense locked onto the heavenly soul sect below. The calamity clouds on the horizon seemed to be stirred, drawing purple lightning into a cloud of magma that rained down. Like a drizzle, the magma blanketed a vast area. Hissing, hissing, hissing sound. Wherever the purple lightning flashed, disciples of the heavenly soul sect were slain. Their protective shields, like straw paper against flaming lightning, proved utterly ineffective. With the assistance of the fire apes transformed from hair, the heavenly soul sect's cultivators were quickly eliminated. The few who managed to escape were caught by the demon suppression envoys hiding outside, and their souls were naturally sealed. As expected, thunderstorms and the minor heavenly thunder technique are a perfect match. Performing this technique during a tribulation is even more powerful, as Su Poman exclaimed. The 6th heavenly thunderbolt had already gathered. It seemed as if his previous attempt at borrowing power had angered the tribulation. This new thunderbolt was dozens of times more powerful than the previous one. The terrifying lightning flashed as if it threatened to pierce the entire Kaingsing. As the flash of light shone, the ears of nearby creatures were plunged into absolute silence, with only the endless expanse of white light exploding before their eyes. The magnitude of the sound was beyond the hearing range of most creatures, and to their ears, all other sounds in the world were drowned out by the immense roar. To their ears, the world seemed to be plunged into absolute silence, their minds in a state of chaos. Su Poman was also startled by the thunderbolt. He had never expected even the 6th thunderbolt to be so terrifying. Even a second tribulation loose immortal would struggle to survive a thunderbolt of this magnitude. This evil cultivator's tribulation was already stronger than that of other cultivators. Furthermore, Su Poman's unauthorized disruption of order interfered with the flow of the tribulation, contaminating it with tribulation energy. This effectively meant two people were experiencing the tribulation together, multiplying its power several times over. Furthermore, his earlier use of the minor heavenly thunder technique had helped the tribulation cloud gather some of the great forces of heaven and earth, multiplying its power. This resulted in such a massive pillar of lightning, hundreds of feet in diameter. From afar, it seemed to connect the heavens and the earth, a truly spectacular sight. Countless cultivators on Kaingsing were stunned by this pillar of lightning. Who on earth is this? Why didn't they go to the heaven beyond heaven to survive the tribulation? That's terrifying. That seems to be heading towards Shangluo country. Why don't we go and see what's going on? Forget it. I'm already a wandering immortal. If I'm contaminated by the tribulation energy, the thunder tribulation will arrive prematurely and I'll be doomed. I advise you not to get involved. Anyone who can survive that kind of thunder tribulation must be a powerful cultivator who has cultivated for many years. If you go, you might be misunderstood. I won't approach. I'll just watch from a distance. After a long moment, the lightning dissipated, revealing Su Poman's disheveled form. His body had once again been ravaged by the thunder, looking incredibly miserable. His regeneration ability activated, repairing his body at a visible speed, while simultaneously emanating an even more powerful aura. Strange, the combat power increase from near death this time isn't as much as before. Could it be that the Saiyan bloodline has a cooldown period? Su Poman was puzzled. Although he had watched the Dragon Ball anime before, he wasn't familiar with the setting and could only figure it out bit by bit. Come again. High in the sky, a seventh bolt of heavenly thunder slowly coalesced. After yet another ravage, Su Poman felt his body's resistance to thunder had increased significantly. Even with the increased power of the seventh bolt, he felt confident he could withstand it. Boom! From within the purple calamity clouds, a massive dragon head slowly emerged, followed by a gigantic figure. Its horns resembled a deer, its head a camel, its eyes like a rabbit, its neck a snake, its belly a clam, its scales like a fish, its claws like an eagle, its paws like a tiger, its ears like an ox, a gigantic purple dragon. Its entire body was crystal clear, as if cast from amethyst. Horrifying lightning swirled around it, emanating a destructive aura. Millions of miles away, a Mahayana cultivator witnessed this scene and gasped in shock, exclaiming, "This is a thunder spirit, an ancient thunder dragon. It's actually condensed into a giant dragon. This heavenly tribulation is truly miraculous." Su Poman's pupils shrank slightly as he gazed at the blazing white light in the purple dragon's pupils. He sensed an aura of extreme danger for no apparent reason. "Su boy, stop bragging. This heavenly tribulation has transformed into a thunder spirit, its power surpassing several levels. You definitely can't survive it. Enter the heavenly treasure pagoda," Tianlingzi's voice echoed in his mind. Su Poman was about to retort when the next moment he realized the scene before him had changed, and he was now in a golden palace. Within the tribulation cloud, the ancient thunder dragon instantly pounds to the ground, its blazing white eyes seeming to search for something. After a long moment of failing to detect Su Poman's presence, it roared in frustration and charged into the tribulation cloud, disappearing. Su Poman, now transformed into his true form, asked with a wry smile, "Cheyenne Leo, why didn't you ask for my opinion before bringing me in? HMPH, you idiot. If that thunder dragon pounces, you're dead. If you possess immortal power, you could rely on that white dragon armor to fend it off a bit, but you haven't yet achieved immortality, not even reached the Mahayana stage. If you encounter that thunder dragon, you're doomed. This time in the heavenly treasure pagoda, you must practice diligently for me. Don't even think about leaving until you reach the late stage of the tribulation. Moreover, you've been targeted by the heavenly tribulation of this world. If you leave, it will befall you." Tianlingzi rebuked him harshly, his tone filled with sternness. Su Poman was speechless. He knew Tianlingzi meant well, but he couldn't explain it clearly for a while. Suddenly, an idea struck him. "Cheyenne Leo, how about we make a bet?" "What's the bet?" Tianlingzi piqued his interest. Su Poman smiled slightly and said, "I bet that if I go out now, the heavenly tribulation will not find me." "Do you believe it?" "Impossible. The way of heaven is operating everywhere. Even if you leave Kaingsing and escape into the void or the secret realm, you cannot avoid the perception of the heavenly tribulation, Tianlingzi said in a very affirmative tone. Chapter 277 Infinite Resurrection. Why don't you let me out and try? Su Poman urged. If I lose, I will practice hard, but if I win, you have to promise me that you won't force me into the Xianbao Tower. Tianlingzi shook his head and refused. No, this old man has traveled all over the country with the immortal emperor. How could he not know about the heavenly tribulation? Stop messing around and stay in the tower to practice. But, Xianlao, I will also need the sun star for my next practice, Su Poman said with difficulty. Tianlingzi pondered for a moment and smiled. Don't worry about that. I can find a sun star in other star fields and move it into the Xianbao Tower. It will be enough for you to practice, Xianlao. Just let me out. Even if it doesn't work, you can take me back to the Xianbao Tower before the tribulation cloud condenses. I won't feel comfortable if I don't go out and try. I can't practice with peace of mind with my mind wandering. I really lost to you. Tianlingzi supported his forehead with a helpless look on his face. A flash of light flashed, and when Su Poman regained his vision, he was already above Kaingsing. The shadowy figure of Tianlingzi slowly emerged behind him, staring at the sky with a nervous expression. A long moment passed, but still nothing happened. How could this be? Tianlingzi muttered to himself, puzzled. Su Poman smiled calmly and said, Hey, what does the thunder tribulation caused by the fire ape have to do with me? Su Poman. Tianlingzi seemed choked by something, speechless and extremely depressed. He clicked his tongue and said, That's not right. Your transformation technique may be miraculous, but how could you possibly deceive the heavenly Dao? Haha, Elder Yan, this is no ordinary transformation technique, Su Poman explained with a smile, thinking to himself, this is the most advanced divine power in the prehistoric world to avoid disasters. Naturally, it can evade the heavenly Dao's perception. He scanned the map of Kangayan continent with his mind, and instantly confirmed his location. This was a third-tier cultivation state near the Wanku Kingdom, called Dalian. It had a large population, its territory dominated by plains, and the majority of cultivation forces were righteous, with ordinary people living a peaceful and contented life. Dozens of blue horses galloped across the official road, tearing through it. Riding on these horses were bare-chested men, carrying broadswords. Their momentum was fierce, and a strong aura of murderous intent emanated from them. Their rapid progress, churning up clouds of dust, tore the merchants who had been on the road to the ground, and the more prudent ones quickly got out of the way. Standing in the middle of the road was a young man wearing a white dragon-patterned robe. He was handsome, his aura ethereal, like a banished immortal from heaven. Get out of the way, the leader, a burly man wearing a black scarf, was one-eyed and burly. A fierce expression crossed his face as he grasped the whip behind him and raised it high. The whip bore sharp barbs, each about a finger's length long, stained with lingering blood. A single blow from such a weapon would cost at least half a lifespan. If improperly treated, the wound, contaminated by the filth from the barbs, could very well be fatal. Su Poman narrowed his eyes, unaware that trouble would arise even while he stood there conferring with Tianlingzi. 6 pointed patterns lit up in his pupils. And as he scanned the crowd, he immediately realized that these 56 bandits were not kind individuals, each responsible for at least 7 or 8 deaths. Since you've fallen into my hands, you're unlucky. The bio-force field transformed into tough, transparent threads, stretching across the necks of the group. The one-eyed burly man's eyes gleamed with bloodlust, his heart alight with excitement. He loved encountering such obstacles, so he could entangle them with his whip and drag them along. Listening to their screams as he continued on his way was one of life's greatest pleasures. At that moment, the head of the Sun Clan suddenly felt a chill on his neck. Then, a headless figure appeared in his field of vision, galloping ahead on horseback. A fountain of blood erupted from its cavity. His vision sank into the dust, and then, with a terrifying suffocating sensation, his consciousness quickly sank into darkness. Su Poman, by now soaring into the clouds, gazed upon the 50 or so headless corpses below, his heart as calm as water. These people's evil was no different from that of the evil cultivators. Killing them would be a boon to the region. He raised 2 fingers and formed a seal with one hand. In an instant, black-clad figures wearing ghost masks emerged, standing with their hands clasped. Go, clean up the mess, and then, seek out the secret realm and harvest the energy points. The shadow clones nodded symbolically, transforming into streams of light and departing in all directions. Perhaps in a few years, thanks to the Demon Suppression Palace, Kaiexing will become the first great harmony society in the lower realms. Doors will be left unlocked at night, and no one will pick up lost items on the streets. Men will have their share, and women will have their own homes. Mortals will care for each other, without schemes or intrigues. The widowed, the orphaned, and the lonely will all be provided for. Cultivators will have principles, refraining from killing for treasure, persecuting perverse practices, or wantonly slaughtering mortals. They will abide by the law and uphold justice. Su Poman pondered for a moment, then leaped out of the gale layer and teleported towards the sun star. His original body's next task was to improve his immortal cultivation. If he could reach the Mahayana stage, his clone would become even stronger. He would then be able to expand the Demon Suppression Palace's influence throughout the Kaienigan realm. After clearing out the many toxic elements, he would be able to obtain countless energy crystals. Then, his original body would be able to venture into various dangerous places, experiencing life and death time and again, utilizing the characteristics of a Super Saiyan to continuously enhance his physical strength. By the way, Tian Lao, can you open a trial space just for me? I want to send some clones in to build up resistance. What do you mean by building up resistance? Well, let me explain it this way. The same means of attack will gradually weaken when it acts on me. My clones and my original body can gradually adapt to a certain type of attack until they are completely immune. Moreover, the resistance built up by the clones will also appear on the original body. Hiss? There is such a physique? What kind of freak are you, kid? Tian Lingzi had already realized this in the previous trial, but he was not sure. Until Su Poman said it himself, his worldview was refreshed again. I followed the old master for so long, and I've seen countless immortal and combat forms, but never a physique as abnormal as yours. Your potential is simply incredible. If your unique physical ability can be used against immortal arts, then I believe your chances of revenge for the old master will increase by at least 30%. Cheyenne Leo, take your time. Wait until my clone is immune to the magic of the lower realms before attempting immortal arts. After all, those are attacks at the level of laws, and I'm not sure if I can maintain immunity. Soon, Su Poman had reached the sun star's death zone. He slowly approached, moving closer and closer, realizing that his body could now adapt to closer distances: 800,000 kilometers, 700,000 kilometers, 400,000 kilometers, 100,000 kilometers. At this point, Su Poman felt a warmth all over his body, an indescribable sense of comfort. With one last push, he charged directly into the 50,000 kilometer zone. The massive sun filled his entire field of vision. Su Poman could even make out the tiny flames on its surface. Raging flames ripped apart the surrounding space, and terrifying heat pierced the void, radiating into the dimensional fissures. We can go a little further. Su Poman felt his cheeks burning. Each of his superhuman cells greedily absorbed the energy emanating from the sunlight, each one gleaming brightly like a tiny light bulb. 30,000 kilometers. 10,000 kilometers. 5,000 kilometers. At this point, the temperature had already soared to a terrifying level. From the ground, the surface temperature of the sun was only a few tens of thousands of degrees Celsius, but the vast majority of its heat was being dissipated into the void, at least 99% of its energy being absorbed by the other dimension. Su Poman felt his mouth dry, and his flesh felt as if it were about to crack. He quickly stopped, sat cross-legged in the void, and with a hand gesture, a massive golden Crodharma body emerged from behind him. A torrent of solar fire surged in, like rivers flowing into the sea, and was absorbed into Su Poman's body and Dharmakaya. Gagan, a golden light swirled from the three-legged golden Crodharmakaya, radiant and brilliant. Tian Lingzi, observing this, conjured another massive ball of mist for Su Poman to absorb. Time passed slowly. Su Poman's aura grew stronger. He had advanced from the spiritual transformation stage to the fusion stage in just 3 days. Meanwhile, within a trial space, hundreds of thousands of shadow clones were under attack from all sorts of attacks, from the most basic fireballs and water arrows to forbidden techniques only usable by the Mahayana stage. There were also sword formations, flying spears, energizing attacks, formations, and a myriad of magical artifacts. The magic alone numbered countless types, along with a variety of magical instruments, magical treasures, and ancient artifacts with varying effects, as well as formations and restrictions of varying power. These shadow clones constantly perished and were reborn. Only when they became completely immune to a single attack would the combat puppet's attack methods change. These shadow clones were also busy, constantly dying and reborn, comprehending the various spells and mystical arts engraved in their brains. With each death, their cultivation experience returned to their original bodies. As a result, both their cultivation and their understanding of spells and mystical arts advanced at an incredibly terrifying rate. At the same time, even an ordinary cultivator, even one with a powerful spirit, would feel exhausted by such a vast amount of information. However, Su Poman possessed a super brain. Under the sunlight, he processed this information with ease, without the slightest pressure. With incredible speed, he categorized and numbered the spells and mystical arts he had fully comprehended, forming a vast database. A month later, Su Poman's Immortal Cultivation had reached the late stage of the Void Realm. His Immortal Cultivation had become an indispensable component of his combat power. He could summon any spell at will, effortlessly, without even thinking. He even created numerous new mystical arts and spells based on this knowledge. At this moment, he vaguely sensed a connection between his various spells, a strange rapport. After mastering hundreds of millions of spells, he clearly sensed a higher power. This power was like the trunk of a mighty tree, while the various spells and mystical arts were merely leaves tucked away on its branches. He slowly opened his eyes, their light gleaming with infinite wisdom, like that of a wise sage. A month has passed, and I can once again use the purple source wheel to enhance my abilities. Old Yon, please send me back to Kaingsing. Okay, light and shadow shone, and the scene before him instantly transformed. Su Po's contentment flickered, and above Kaingsing, black-robed figures wearing bronze ghost masks emerged, rapidly moving towards him. A moment later, storage rings containing a variety of rare items were delivered to his hands. Su Poman scanned them one by one with his spiritual sense, a smile playing on his lips. Haha, there are fewer primordial spirits. It seems that the evildoers in Kaingsing's cultivation world have become much less numerous. They've all started doing good deeds. Then, he closed his eyes and used his mind to open the light curtain of the purple source wheel. Not bad. 50 energy crystals have been added in a month. This is almost the upper limit of this cultivation planet. Any more will damage the vitality and greatly affect the survival of Kaingsing's spiritual veins. We must formulate a long-term plan. We can't exhaust all resources. Only by pursuing sustainable development can we have a constant supply of energy crystals. Once my cultivation reaches the Mahayana stage, I can plan for other cultivation planets. Puff. 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 The shadow clones around him shattered one by one, and various combat experiences began to return to their original bodies. Multiple shadow clone technique. Su Poman formed a seal with one hand, and the chakra in his body was once again mobilized. Once again, a dense swarm of demon-suppressing envoys appeared around him. This new batch of demon suppressors possessed an even more powerful aura, possessing resistance to countless forms of attack. Go. Continue to guard the four directions. Without a single response, the demon suppressors tore through space and departed. Next, it's time for the much-anticipated lottery and power-up session. This time, continue to power up Water Resurrection and see if you can eliminate the cooldown period for that day. Su Poman rubbed his hands together, immersing his consciousness in the light curtain of the roulette wheel. He lightly tapped the word power up with his mind. Buzz! The remaining 50 energy points on the light curtain vanished instantly, transforming into a dazzling, multicolored beam that crashed heavily onto the roulette wheel. Click, 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 the ancient and mysterious roulette wheel spun rapidly, and rays of light and shadow representing different abilities flickered across it, constantly evolving and disappearing, constantly changing. Please confirm the enhancement target Water Resurrection, daily cycle. The enhancement target for this time is confirmed to be Water Resurrection, daily cycle, establishing a law link and strengthening on the original basis ding. Spent 50 energy crystals. The enhancement was successful. You have obtained the great supernatural power of the heavens level, infinite resurrection. After each death, your main body will be resurrected at full status from the anchored resurrection point. The body and soul will be instantly restored to full status, no consumption, no cooldown, unlimited times. The current resurrection point has been anchored. If you change the location after anchoring, you will need to spend 10 energy crystals each time ding. You have obtained an additional void resurrection point, which is currently unanchored. After the anchoring is successful, once you die, you will have 2 resurrection points to choose from for resurrection. Chapter 278 New Resurrection Point. Purple source roulette, name, Su Poman, realm, late cave void, bloodline, bronze Superman body, 100%, zombie contract, first generation Pangu clan bloodline, 100%, ancient Saiyan bloodline, 100%, abilities. 1. Bronze Superman template, possessing all Bronze Age Superman abilities, can be cultivated to Silver Age. 2. Soul Devourer, reverse soul technique. 3. Infinite resurrection. Current resurrection point is anchored, 1/2. Changing the location after anchoring requires 10 energy crystals each time. You have a new void resurrection point that has not yet been anchored. 4. Pangu body. 5. Soul space. 6. Eye of Judgment. 7. 72 transformations. 8. Multiple shadow clone technique, energy crystal. 0. A minimum of 1 energy crystal is required to extract strengthen once, quantity that can be extracted. 0. 1 extraction strengthening remaining this month, current extraction target, none. Infinite resurrection, no water restrictions, and a new resurrection point. Su Poman's face showed surprise, and he muttered to himself, now, I can really be considered immortal. Where should the new void resurrection point be anchored? If I encounter an existence that can break the Xianbao Pagoda in the future, then the resurrection point will not be absolutely safe no matter where it is set. People with great magical powers will definitely be able to calculate the location of my resurrection point. Therefore, it is best to anchor the new resurrection point in a place where no one can find it. Where's more suitable? Su Poman's brain started working at full capacity, and he started a brainstorming session. He recalled the places he had experienced since he crossed over, his eyes restrained, and he was lost in memories. Scenes flashed through his mind, then quickly passed. Got it. Suddenly, Su Poman's eyes lit up, and he telepathically sent a message to Tian Lingzi. Master Tian, are you there? If you have something to say, please speak up. Tian Lingzi's figure emerged from a 3-inch tall, 9-story pagoda, resembling a lamp genie, his form appearing slightly ethereal. Later, use your magical powers to deduce my location and see if you can find me, Su Poman said with a smile. Tian Lingzi stroked his beard and said with a strange expression, what are you trying to do? My original body is a half-step Xianzhen weapon. Although my strength has dropped to the Zhuangxin level, if I use the deduction method, even a Jinxin can be easily found by me, let alone you, Xian Lao. How about we make another bet? Well, forget it. You have so many secrets. I'm not stupid. I can't let you capsize in the ditch. You go first. I will definitely find you, okay, Xian Lao. Then I'll start. After Su Poman finished speaking, his figure disappeared from the spot. Tian Lingzi frowned and sensed with the body of the tower spirit. He did not detect any spatial fluctuations. Then his perception ability instantly spread to the entire Little Guangstar region. No? How is that possible? Tian Lingzi's eyes flashed with uncertainty. Looks like I really need to use deduction to find this kid. He then lowered his head and began calculating. Immortal seals radiating golden light emerged from his fingers, quickly forming a miniature formation about half a meter tall. The more he calculated, the deeper Tian Lingzi's frown deepened. He was shocked to find that the object he was calculating seemed to have never existed in this world. Whether using causal relationships, auras, or blood entanglement, he could not determine Su Poman's location. Strange, how could he disappear out of thin air? Not even in the void. Even if I enter some secret realm, I should be able to find a trace. At this moment, Su Poman had already entered his soul space. Since acquiring the Heavenly Treasure Pagoda, he had paid little attention to the growth of his soul space. When he first drew on this ability, it was only 10 cubic meters in size. With each increase in strength, his soul devouring power continued to grow, and it underwent a tremendous transformation. The once cramped space had become a world unto itself, expanding millions of times. Beneath his feet lay a continent of brown sand and gravel, devoid of any flowers or plants. He scanned the area with his spiritual sense, extending it all the way to the edge of his soul dimension, discovering a place comparable in size to a mortal realm. White clouds drifted across the sky, and at its highest point, a massive luminous object shone, its faint white light illuminating the entire heaven and earth. With only a fragmented ability, you can carve out such a vast space. If you can complete it, you might be able to carve out a soul kingdom. Su Poman bent down, grabbed a handful of gravel, and examined it for a moment, finding nothing unusual. I wonder if Xian Lao can deduce the location of this space. If not, then we can establish a new resurrection point here. As long as my true spirit remains immortal, this space will persist, and I can continue to resurrect from it. Su Poman sorted some storage equipment into a designated area. After lingering for a moment, he thought and returned to the outside world. Su boy, where have you been? Tianlingzi grabbed his shoulder, his expression filled with confusion. I've tried hundreds of deductions during this time, but I can't find a single trace. I've created countless clones and searched every star field, but I can't find any trace of you. No. Su Poman's face lit up with joy, and he immediately decided to anchor his second resurrection point in the soul space. Cheyenne Leo, don't resist. I'll take you there. Su Poman reached out and carefully grasped the 9-story pagoda. Then, with another thought, he returned to the soul space. Cheyenne Leo, you can come out now. After calling out softly, Su Poman saw the 9-story pagoda in his palm glow with light, and Tianlingzi's slightly illusory figure emerged from the spire. Where is this? Tianlingzi raised his head and glanced around, his eyes filled with wonder. There are no immortal laws here, no immortals. Su Poman sensed the space briefly, only to find no spiritual energy or immortal energy, and nothing unusual. If abilities drawn from other worlds could derive into immortal laws, that would be a mystery. There must be laws here, but they're definitely not immortal laws. They must belong to the unique laws of the Zhengshan Wang of the origin continent. This world is a bit strange. It has no connection to either the Kyanigan realm or the immortal realm. It doesn't belong to any of the other lower realms. It's like it belongs to another world. Tianlingzi's eyes were filled with surprise. Turning to Su Poman, he asked, Su boy, tell me the truth. What exactly is this place, and how did you come in so freely? Before Su Poman could reply, Tianlingzi let out a soft "cha," and instantly arrived at the storage area. Looking at the storage bags and rings on the ground, Tianlingzi's perception penetrated them unimpeded. Then his expression became even more strange. He said, they're all your things. No wonder I haven't seen you use your storage equipment. The things you put away are never stored with me. Tian Lao, this space belongs to me alone, and I am the only one who can enter, Su Poman explained with a smile. Tianlingzi tilted his head. Really? Of course it's true. Su Poman nodded. Tianlingzi stroked his beard and laughed. That's great. I've decided. After you refine the core of the Heavenly Treasure Pagoda, place it in this space. It'll be absolutely safe that way. Even if the main body is destroyed, I'll have a chance to make a comeback. Huh? Su Poman froze. Is that even possible? The most important component of the Heavenly Treasure Phantom Spirit Pagoda is its core. If that core is destroyed, I'll be completely destroyed. But if it survives, even if the main body of the Heavenly Treasure Pagoda is completely destroyed by Xianzhen, I'll still be able to restore it to its peak. However, the cost may be greater, Tianlingzi explained. I see. Su Poman's face lit up with realization, and at the same time, he immersed his mind in the purple source wheel. Anchor the resurrection point. Buzz. Su Poman felt a slight vibration from the depths of his soul. A tiny bit of his true spirit, enveloped in a silver pocket watch, flew out. As the silver pocket watch appeared, it emanated a dazzling silver light, growing larger and larger before finally dissipating into the sky. Tianlingzi stared at the spot where the silver pocket watch had vanished, a puzzled expression on his face. He didn't question further, knowing this must be Su Poman's secret. With a thought, Su Poman returned to the outside world. It was now dark, with only half of the sun peeked over the horizon, casting an orange-red afterglow. Above, with the onset of night, many stars began to blaze. I've been cultivating for so long, it's time to rest. A moderate pace of relaxation, a balance of work and rest, will benefit my cultivation. Besides, Su Poman glanced at the sealed spirits in his storage equipment. I need time to consume them all and digest them properly. Tian Lao, take me to the Xianbao Phantom Spirit Tower. Okay. Within the Golden Palace, Su Poman's body levitated and arrived before the crystal ball. He slowly extended his hand and placed it on the cool, smooth surface. A golden red mana surged from his danshan and poured into the crystal ball at the center of the tower. At this moment, his other hand slowly extended, continuously pouring streams of white glowing mana into the crystal ball. The mana of a late-stage Dongsu cultivator was noticeably stronger than that of a Shinho cultivator. The surface of the crystal ball lit up with an immortal light, gradually beginning to react. With your late-stage Dongsu mana, refining the core with all your strength will only take 3 years. Su, boy, do you want to? No, Elder Dawn, I'll cultivate to the Mahayana stage before refining it. There's no rush now. Half an hour later, Su Poman's mana exhausted, he leaped into the world within the tower. Beneath a pale white dome of light, green mountains clustered together, surrounded by verdant waters. Atop a towering mountain, several magnificent courtyards were arranged in a staggered pattern. The furnishings within the courtyards resembled an immortal's abode, with carved beams and painted buildings, and jade corridors connecting them. Every step revealed a breathtaking scene. One of the two courtyards at the top was Zhu Yanghong's residence. He was now completely immersed in the art of swordsmithing. With jade slips passed down from immortals, he was filled with new inspiration daily. The other courtyard was currently uninhabited, so Kaoyer and Ruzu chose the one below. On the mountainside, Nirongchuan, Lu Man, and the others lived in one courtyard. Kong Qi, Yin Wanshao, and Kei Yaner lived in the other courtyard, and Zhao Yunjing occupied the middle courtyard. Su Poman first paid his respects to Zhu Yanghong's courtyard before heading off to meet Kaoyer and Ruzu. After a night of intimate companionship, Su Poman stayed awake in the morning, sleeping in and having a wonderful dream. In his dream, Su Poman returned to Blue Star, where time seemed to have passed almost indefinitely, and he reunited with many of his friends and family. In the afternoon, Su Poman opened his eyes and gazed out the window at the sunlight for a moment, lost in thought, reminiscing about the dream. After bidding farewell to the two women, he left the heavenly treasure pagoda and reappeared before the sun star. At this moment, a series of notifications suddenly echoed through his mind. Ding, you've earned 20 million energy points. Ling, you've earned 80 million energy points. Ling, you've earned 50 million energy points. Haha, the demon race is truly generous, offering so many valuable resources to train Han Li. Su Poman closed his eyes, and a new perspective suddenly emerged in his mind. Han Li sat cross-legged in a hall thick with demonic energy, transforming treasures bestowed by the demon ancestor into energy points. Outside the hall, several powerful scattered demon-level warriors stood guard, acting as personal escorts for the safety of this supreme demon genius. In a pavilion not far from the hall, several figures stood. Among them was a red-haired young man in luxurious robes, surrounded by a crowd of people. His eyes were sinister, and he seemed to be in a bad mood. Young Master Xianhe, don't be angry. That kid is the top genius ranked first in the 10,000 races list and the rising star of the entire race. It will definitely take some resources to cultivate him. Lord Demon Ancestor, he also has his own difficulties. The leopard-headed demon cultivator on the side carefully consoled him. The red-haired young man snorted coldly and said angrily, you can't give all the blue yuan hero stones that belong to me to him. I am also the top genius in the demon race. If you leave that resource to me, I can go further. Moreover, because of him, how many masters of my demon race have died? Even Master Zuluan fell because of him. His eyes were slightly red, and his hair fluttered, like a violent lion beast, with a cold murderous intent that made people shudder. Young Master, you are the first heir of the Skyfire clan. While he may be highly gifted, he certainly cannot compare to you. From now on, you will have the final say in the 10,000 Demon Palace. This child may have taken up many resources, but he was ultimately cultivated by the 10,000 Demon Palace for the upper realm. Once he ascends to the demon realm, the demon race of Archaeanigan realm will surely be favored by the upper realm. While there may be significant losses in the short term, in the long run, this is the wisest investment ever made by Master Demon Ancestor. The eagle-winged elder on the other side slowly analyzed. The red-haired youth pursed his lips, a hint of resentment still lingering in his eyes. He slammed the railing, instantly shattering it. I understand the logic, but I simply cannot swallow this. Chapter 279, Spiritual Clone. 1,000 kilometers from the Sun Star, where space is constantly distorted, a handsome young man, shirtless, sits cross-legged in the darkness of the boundless void. His eyes are slightly closed, a mysterious golden pattern etched between his brows. Behind him stands a mountain like golden crowed Armakia. The sun's true fire, like a long golden river, envelopes him. With each breath, the pure spiritual energy within the mist flows into Su Poman's body, rapidly advancing his cultivation, as if he were consuming a powerful elixir. The journey from the void stage to the tribulation stage would take far longer than Su Poman had anticipated. With his continued practice, his superhuman body rapidly improves, his physical strength, power, speed, bioforce field, recovery ability, and the offensive power of his thermal vision constantly increasing. A month later, Su Poman reluctantly opened his eyes, deeply puzzled. Cheyenne Leo, why haven't I spent a month advancing from the late Drinksu stage to the Duji stage? If anyone else heard you, they'd probably be furious. Tianlingzi couldn't help but roll his eyes, pouting as he explained, the transition from the Duangsu stage to the Duji stage is a process of communication between heaven and man. Heaven will respond to your level of cultivation. How can it happen overnight? Others need hundreds of thousands of years to break through to the Duji stage, and you can't stand it after just 1 month? According to my calculations, in your current state, it will take at least 2 years to reach the Duji stage. 2 years? That's too long. Tianlingzi twitched his lips, feeling a little hesitant to hold back his hands. Well, compared to hundreds of thousands of years of cultivation, it's not that long. Su Poman closed his eyes again, his consciousness now immersed in the purple source roulette. A month has passed so quickly, and it's time for the much-anticipated lucky draw. Should I strengthen my abilities this time? Or draw new ones? He used his mind to open the purple source wheel's screen, checking each of his abilities and silently analyzing them. Right now, I don't seem to be lacking any new abilities, and I might not even have enough energy crystals for my Hongming level techniques. The most urgent thing is to strengthen my clones. Since entering the void stage, Su Poman had attempted to send clones to other star regions to scavenge resources, but unexpectedly discovered that shadow clones, without the support of blood essence, seemed to have a range limit. Traveling through the void, they would easily disintegrate if they reached too far, thus temporarily shelving his plans to expand the Demon Suppression Palace's influence. To continue developing his own strength, he would undoubtedly require more energy crystals, and clones were the only way to obtain them. Therefore, strengthening his shadow clones was the top priority for now. Looking at the 50 energy crystals on the purple source wheel, Su Poman shifted his consciousness to the wheel's screen and lightly tapped the word strengthen with his mind. Buzz! The remaining 50 energy points on the light curtain vanished instantly, transforming into dazzling, multicolored light that crashed heavily onto the roulette wheel. Crack, 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 the ancient, mysterious roulette wheel spun rapidly, and rays of light and shadow representing different abilities flickered across it, constantly evolving and disappearing, constantly changing. Please confirm the strengthening target multiple shadow clone technique. Confirm that the strengthening target this time is the multiple shadow clone technique, establishing a law link and strengthening on the original basis ding. Spend 50 energy crystals, strengthening successfully, you have obtained the plane level magical power, Spirit Shadow Clone. You can consume chakra to condense shadow clones. The shadow clone's strength is increased to 80% of the original body. With the same realm of Immortal Cultivation, you can absorb the current plane energy to condense a physical body. The defense is the same as the original body's biological force field, ignoring distance, with independent combat consciousness and high-level intelligence, never betray, can assist in cultivation. The speed of cultivation is related to the original body's spiritual root attributes. The better the spiritual root, the faster the cultivation speed. After the clone is released, the memory and cultivation experience will return to the original body. Purple source roulette, name, Su Poman, realm, late cave void, bloodline, bronze Superman body, 100%, zombie contract, first generation Pantangu clan bloodline, 100%, ancient Saiyan bloodline, 100%, abilities. 1. Bronze Superman template, possessing all the abilities of a Bronze-era Superman, and can cultivate to the silver stage on his own. 2. Soul devouring, reverse soul method. 3. Infinite resurrection. 4. Pangu divine body. 5. Soul space. 6. Eye of judgment. 7. 72 transformations. 8. Spiritual clone, energy crystals. 0. A minimum of 1 energy crystal can be extracted enhanced once, quantity available for extraction. 0. 1 extraction enhancement remaining this month, current extraction target, none. Disc. The effect of this enhanced clone technique is quite strong. Just the fact that it can assist in cultivation is like turning on a cultivation accelerator for myself. I'm so happy. It seems that it won't take 2 years to break through to the tribulation crossing stage. If I can condense 1,000,000 clones to help me cultivate, then the speed will definitely skyrocket. The combat effectiveness has also increased a lot. It was originally 1 realm lower than my own combat effectiveness, but now it has 80% of my original strength. Just 1 clone has the same level of combat effectiveness as me. If you add transformation, that scene is simply too beautiful. Su Poman's face was filled with excitement, eager to test out his new ability. With a single thought, he skipped the chain seals, and a dense, blurry swarm of figures instantly appeared around the sun star. This time, he exhausted all of his chakra, feeling his strength diminish significantly. In one breath, he conjured 2 million shadow clones. The once thin spiritual energy seemed to suddenly become a vacuum. Wisps of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and the sun's true fire were absorbed by the clones, gradually condensing into their own bodies. Each clone exuded a powerful aura and resembled Su Poman, wearing white shorts and bare-chested. Go. Your goal is the stars and the sea. Over 1 million of the clones nodded, transforming into black-clad figures wearing ghost masks. They reached out and tore through space, escaping beyond the flowing light star region. After a brief moment of monitoring and finding that the clones had not shattered again, Su Poman felt completely relieved. He then turned his gaze to the remaining 1 million shadow clones. Half of you will help me cultivate the Golden Crow transformation into sun technique, and the other half will cultivate the mysterious origin suppressing the world technique. With this command, one half of the shadow clones sat cross-legged, a vague shadow of a golden crow appearing behind them. They began to comprehend the mysterious and unspoken principles of the heavens. Behind the other half, white dragons of Gangaon condensed and began to cultivate the mysterious origin suppressing the world technique. In the previous period of cultivation, Su Poman had only advanced his ki refining to the late Riksu stage, while his body refining had remained at the Shinho stage. This time, with these 1 million clones practicing together, his efficiency was instantly boosted. Since his realm reached the Dongsu stage, his pseudo-chaos spiritual roots had undergone several transformations, and his cultivation speed now rivaled that of cultivators with exceptional spiritual roots. While the shadow clones' cultivation speed was somewhat reduced, their practice was still comparable to that of cultivators with heavenly spiritual roots. Upon witnessing the scene, Tianlingzi's eyes widened. These clones are actually cultivating on their own. Master Tian, please help me get some more of those cultivation-boosting mist balls, Su Poman asked somewhat embarrassedly. Tianlingzi scratched his head, stroked his beard, and finally sighed. While these clones are worth cultivating, your own cultivation is ultimately paramount. As he spoke, a vast supply of precious materials and elixirs emerged from the Golden Palace. Boom! A transparent celestial fire emerged. Fueled by the celestial fire, it quickly transformed into mist balls imbued with pure spiritual energy, capable of directly boosting cultivation. Soon, mist balls were released, hovering above the heads of the clones. Connecting his mind and spirit, Su Poman felt strands of spiritual energy entering the clones, being refined according to specific cultivation paths, gradually transforming into traces of cultivation power, which were stored within them. Great! This way I don't have to practice on my own. Su Poman suddenly felt the pressure lift. Whether it was practicing or harvesting resources, it was now the job of his shadow clones, and they would work tirelessly and without complaint, working for him day and night. Is this what it feels like to be a capitalist? It's so cool. At this moment, Su Poman suddenly thought of something and muttered to himself, I wonder if these clones can help me refine the core of the heavenly treasure pagoda. I should give it a try, but I should wait until my chakra recovers, then find a place with abundant spiritual energy so that my shadow clones can absorb enough spiritual energy to condense into a spiritual body. Under the sunlight, his previously depleted stamina and chakra continued to recover. A quarter of an hour, 2/4 of an hour. At this moment, Su Poman stretched lazily. In just 2/4 of an hour, his chakra was fully restored. Chakra recovery is still too slow. If I have the chance, I'll need to use a chakra extraction technique. With my physical strength, I should be able to quickly extract more chakra. Right now, only a small portion of my energy has been converted into chakra. Cheyenne Leo, can you help me find a place with abundant spiritual energy? Okay. Light and shadows shifted before Su Poman's eyes, and when he opened them, he found himself on an unfamiliar planet. The weather was freezing cold, with a terrifying chill emanating from all around, and the ground was covered in a thick layer of ice. This is Big Mo Star in the Yunhoan Star region, one of the restricted areas of the Kayanigan realm. My original form is countless, scattered throughout the Kayanigan realm. I've obtained many valuable items here. Beneath the ice lies a secret realm containing 12 supreme spiritual veins, Xianlingzi explained slowly. Su Poman activated his supervision and, looking down, saw the entrance to a secret realm. There doesn't seem to be any danger here, so why is it called a restricted area? Haha, I don't want those people to come in, so this place is naturally a restricted area, Tianlingzi said meaningfully. Seeing Tianlingzi's foxy expression, Su Poman couldn't help but admire him. As expected, the old man is still the wisest. He has monopolized a secret realm and turned it into a forbidden place that everyone fears. Tisk, Tianlao is a bit treacherous. Tianlingzi seemed to read Su Poman's thoughts. He reached out and rapped him on the head, saying, "What are you imagining, brat? As a half-step celestial venerable, it's extremely difficult for me to sustain my energy, especially in this lower realm, unable to absorb immortal energy, and even less able to hold the trial of all races again and again." Hiss. It hurts. Cheyenne Leo, I'm not imagining things. I understand. Su Poman rubbed his head and said hurriedly. The blow had actually caused him a slight pain. He used his escape technique to pass through tens of thousands of meters of ice and quickly arrived at the entrance to the secret realm. Cheyenne Leo. Are there any formations or restrictions at the entrance to this secret realm? No, feel free to enter. Su Poman felt a little more at ease and leaped into the secret realm. The cold wind howled, like an ice knife cutting through bones, as if to freeze even the soul. The chill of this secret realm is extraordinary. Even a nascent soul cultivator, without a protective fire-attributed magical weapon, would be engulfed by the cold, suffering incurable injuries at best, or freezing to death on the spot. Heaven and earth were a hue of icy blue. Mountains, blanketed in thick frost and snow, stretched and twisted like crouching frost dragons. The icy blue ground, composed of an indescribably deep layer of ice, was as smooth as a mirror. In the distance, a glacial sacred tree towered tens of thousands of feet tall. Growing in the very heart of the mountains, the sacred tree seemed to absorb the essence of the entire secret realm, emanating astonishing spiritual energy. Its roots pierced through the solid ice and spread to the infinite depths. Su Poman took a deep breath, his lungs instantly filled with coolness and clarity. He couldn't help but exclaim, "What a wonderful place!" Although a little chilly, the concentration of spiritual energy surpasses anywhere else on Kaingsing. Then, with a thought, he expended half his chakra, condensing 1 million shadow clones. Spiritual energy from the heavens and earth within a radius of millions of miles surged in, forming a vast vortex of spiritual energy. Blurry figures gradually solidified as they absorbed the energy. The glacier divine tree, seemingly sensing the spiritual upheaval, erupted with a powerful vitality from its frost-covered trunk, and a green shadow emerged from it. Su Poman's spiritual sense detected the movement, and he turned his head to take a distant look. This great tree has actually condensed a spirit. It seems it's been a spirit for a long time. At this moment, facial features condensed on the glacier divine tree's trunk. It opened its enormous mouth and uttered a strange syllable. Huh? A dull humming sound approached from afar, carrying a strong sense of threat. Although Su Poman didn't understand the meaning, he could sense a sense of expulsion. Are you trying to drive me away? Chapter 280 Refining. Just as Su Poman was about to teleport to slay the demon, Tianlingzi suddenly appeared in the distant sky. His ethereal form gradually grew larger, and he reached out and gently stroked the trunk of the tree. Wheezing, the tree man's mouth opened, releasing a series of cheerful, caressing sounds, like a puppy welcoming its owner home. Is this Cheyenne Leo? You raised one. Su Poman's face was filled with surprise. He'd seen dogs and cats before, but this was the first time he'd seen such a massive tree spirit kept as a pet. When this secret realm was first created, it was still a sapling. Seeing its extraordinary species, I preemptively awakened its spiritual intelligence and taught it a cultivation method for transforming plants into spirits. After all these years, I never expected it to have cultivated a primordial spirit. Don't worry about it. With me here, it won't interfere with your cultivation, Tianlingzi said slowly. Su Poman nodded and turned to look at the gathering shadow clones. The massive vortex in the sky drained a full 50% of the spiritual energy from this secret realm, requiring a significant amount of time for the 12 supreme spiritual veins to recover. After several dozen breaths, all the clones took shape, their bodies overflowing with surging mana. It's done. Su Poman sensed the cultivation within his clones. After his main consciousness descended, he discovered that he could manipulate them with ease, no different from cultivation gained through normal practice. They all shared the same mana. Elder Yan, take me and these clones back to the Heavenly Treasure Pagoda. Tianlingzi released drops of spiritual light from his hand, landing on the glacier sacred tree. The green spirit returned to the trunk, its eyes closed as if in a state of enlightenment. Then, light and shadow shone before Su Poman's eyes, and he found himself in a golden palace. A million shadow clones, a sea of people, stood at varying heights, stacked layer upon layer, making the spacious palace seem suddenly crowded. After Tianlingzi arrived, he formed a stream of light with his hand and struck the crystal ball at the center of the tower. The hall suddenly began to expand, growing ever larger amidst a series of rumbling sounds. Before long, the golden palace had expanded 100-fold, and millions of his shadow clones were finally able to stand together on the immortal gold pavement. Su Poman stood beneath the crystal ball at the center of the tower. Suddenly, the millions of clones below him moved in unison, each performing the same hand gesture. Forming a magical seal, they began to channel their inner mana into a beam of light, shooting it towards the center of the tower. Buzz! Instantly, the surface of the crystal ball erupted with a multicolored glow. With a rapid refining speed, Tianlingzi's eyes gleamed as he gazed at the millions of clones with intense intensity. He hadn't expected Su Poman to be able to use such a method to accelerate the refining of the tower's core. Su Poman also sat cross-legged, his palm gently caressing the surface of the crystal ball, and began to infuse his inner mana into it. As time passed, the celestial light emanating from the crystal ball grew brighter and brighter, eventually becoming as bright as a sun, filling the entire hall. Several hours later, the crystal ball's light dimmed, gradually shrinking to the size of a billiard ball, slowly floating in front of Su Poman. Su Poman felt an inexplicable connection, reached out, and gently touched it. Boom! Countless images flashed through his mind, from the starry sky to the secret jungle, to the location of the Xianbao Phantom Spirit Tower's clone. A vast expanse of starry sky shone in his mind, each point representing a specific location. The sky, filled with stars, stretched across a vast, velvety black curtain. Beside each cultivator, traces of the Xianbao Phantom Spirit Tower's phantom remained. The trial of all races had reached its mid to late stages, and talented individuals from each race were beginning to exert their strength within the trial tower. Furthermore, all the information regarding the Xianbao Phantom Spirit Tower flooded his mind. Holding a trial of all races consumes so many resources, Su Poman had now completely refined the Xianbao Phantom Spirit Pagoda, becoming its new master. He had a complete understanding of it, including its reserves, resources, energy, combat puppet data, formations, phantom positioning, trial space, and so on. From now on, Su Poman no longer needed to rely on Xianlingzi to enter and exit the Xianbao Pagoda. He could use the power of the Xianbao Phantom Spirit Pagoda to travel to the location of any phantom. He now had the authority of a master over Xianlingzi, forcing him to do anything. This artifact is truly powerful. I haven't yet achieved immortality, so many of my methods for subduing enemies are currently unavailable. But with this pagoda, I'm naturally invincible, Su Poman smiled confidently. With a thought, he transferred the pagoda core into his soul space and stored it safely. If you're like this, young Su, even if you become my new master, I hope you won't forget the old master's blood feud, Tianlingzi sighed. He stepped onto the air and slowly approached Su Poman, bowing deeply and saying, "Respected master." Su Poman hurried forward to support him. "Old Yan, please rise quickly. Even if I become the master of this heavenly treasure pagoda, you will always be my elder. How can I accept such a generous gift? You're truly embarrassing me." Tianlingzi remained impassive, but inwardly he was deeply relieved. Hey, this kid may be a little clueless, but he still knows how to respect the elders. After a fierce argument over the title, Su Poman finally convinced Tianlingzi with a firm attitude that from now on, he could call him young Su as before, and not respected master. After refining the core of the Xianbao Phantom Spirit Pagoda, Su Poman was able to tap into a portion of the power of this half-step celestial supreme artifact. The most direct means was to fling the pagoda's main body out to instantly crush his enemies. Furthermore, he could condense combat puppets of varying realms to aid him in battle, or even draw enemies into the pagoda, trapping them and killing them. With this powerful artifact, Su Poman's strength instantly ascended to the level of an immortal. As long as the pagoda's immortal energy remained sufficient, he could possess combat power comparable to that of a profound immortal. This level of combat power made him unrivaled throughout the Kyanigan realm. Much like Xianlingzi, the entire Kyanigan realm was like his own backyard to him, with treasures and hidden treasures readily at his fingertips, and no entity could threaten him. Even if he ascended to the immortal realm, this treasure would protect him, allowing him to quickly establish himself. Even if he encountered a powerful opponent, even if he was unable to defeat them, he could easily retreat within it. The Xianbao Phantom Spirit Pagoda, already a supreme immortal artifact, was later, through a stroke of luck, elevated by a half-level, becoming a half-step celestial supreme artifact. Even if Su Poman couldn't fully activate such a supreme treasure for a while, it was enough for him to dominate the immortal realm. With a thought, Su Poman left the heavenly treasure tower and reappeared near the sun star. At this moment, the 1 million clones were still in a state of cultivation. The golden crow Dharmakaya shone with a golden and red brilliance, and the white dragon formed by the Gangyuan gradually grew larger. Xianlao, I would like to end the trial of all races early. What do you think? Maintaining the trial space every day consumes a large amount of immortal energy. If I save this, I will have more confidence when I enter the immortal realm later, Su Poman said in a satisfied voice transmission. Tianlingzi nodded and said, the purpose of the 10,000 races trial is to select the successor to the Jinghong Immortal Emperor. Now that you're here, the 10,000 races trial is unnecessary. These trials consume vast quantities of immortal energy daily. At least half of the resources accumulated over hundreds of thousands of years will be poured into this worldwide immortal, demon, and monster trial. Then what are you waiting for? Elder Dawn, I'm shutting it down. Wait, don't forget to let them redeem the points they want. Otherwise, accumulating karma with so many people at once will be detrimental to their future cultivation. Okay, I understand, Elder Dawn. With this, Su Poman closed his eyes, and a miniature pagoda emerged from between his brows. With a flick of his finger, the light within the 9-story pagoda gradually dimmed. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Shooting stars began to return from the pagoda shadows beside each cultivation star. This sight brought a tinge of surprise to the faces of the cultivators who had not yet entered the trial. What's going on? Why did today's trial end early? Strange. It's not even 3 hours yet. Could something have happened in the trial tower again? After the cultivators from various factions returned, a piece of news immediately set the entire Kyanigan realm abuzz. The immortal, demon, and monster trials had ended early. The points redemption list was about to open. The cultivators, newly returned to their sects, were all discussing the premature end of the immortal, demon, and monster trials. Su Poman felt his heart ache as he looked at the items on the redemption list. He had never expected Tianlingzi to offer so many valuable items for redemption during each of the 10,000 races trials. He had hoped the items on the redemption list would be better, but now that the Xianbao Tower had become his private property, seeing so many things being given away for free was a painful thought. A mid-grade immortal artifact? Is it even necessary? No one in the lower realm can unleash its full power. How about exchanging it for 2 lower-grade immortal artifacts? This Wind Dream Immortal Grass can purify wind-attributed spiritual roots and enhance one's understanding of wind laws. It seems no one in the lower realm needs it. Why not use that wind-discussing stone instead? Materials capable of refining top-grade ancient treasures or even lower-grade immortal artifacts should be what they desperately need. These cultivation techniques and secret arts can be exchanged, but they're of little value to me. Low-grade purple yuan immortal pills. After some manipulation, the exchange list on the myriad races still had undergone slight changes. Compared to before, there were many more cultivation manuals, talisman pages, and precious materials, but fewer immortal herbs and spiritual roots, or treasures imbued with vast amounts of heavenly and earthly spiritual energy. The geniuses of each race were puzzled, but they didn't notice anything unusual. Instead, they were envied by the various cultivation techniques and secret arts on the list. While elixirs and spiritual roots are valuable, they are merely consumables. Cultivation techniques, on the other hand, are a different matter, capable of forming the foundation for a clan's rise to power. Within the Kyanian realm, major clans began accumulating points, spending vast sums to exchange for the items on the list. This inevitably led to open and covert strife. To amass points, many clans even attacked smaller clans, forcing their cultivators to surrender all their points through the use of the Heavenly Dao Oath. On the ancient Fire Star, in the ancient Demon Palace, Han Li, rumored to be Blue Star's #1 cultivator, possessed nearly 10 billion points, comparable to those of several major clans. Naturally, he became a highly sought-after figure among the higher-ups of the demon clans. For a time, the ancient Demon Palace was bustling with activity. Leaders from various clans arrived bearing gifts, hoping to forge closer ties and secure one or more of the items on Han Li's exchange list. Han Li didn't resist. Instead, he readily accepted all the gifts and promised to exchange them for the items they needed with his points. Inside the ancient demon hall, Han Li took out each gift, his eyes lit up with joy. This group is truly generous. Many of the gifts cost far more than what they were exchanged for. Han Li, come to the 10,000 demon hall. An old voice suddenly appeared in his mind. Demon ancestor. He sensed them briefly, and with a flick of his mind, he sent the mountain of gifts directly into his soul dimension. Then, Han Li rose and slowly walked out of the ancient demon hall. The roads of the ancient Skyfire Star were paved with a mass of white bones, mostly human remains. A bluish-red demonic aura filled the air, and occasional wisps of ghostly fire drifted by, bringing with them an eerie chill. You. Stop! A sudden, violent shout echoed in his ear, causing Han Li to frown. He turned to see a group of dandy demon clan members gathered, seemingly discussing something. The one who ordered him to stop was a demon clan member with a bear head and a human body. The demon stood over 3 meters tall, its sturdy frame covered in dense fur. He wore blood-red armor, with a long tail trailing behind him. Han Li asked expressionlessly, "What's the matter? Are you the legendary #1 cultivator of Blue Star? I've heard you're a master at fighting across levels. Would you mind a fight with me? If you lose, give me all your points. I'm Shang Tanyer of the Cheyenne Bear clan, at the early stage of the Void Realm. I won't kill. Haha, my demon clan worships the strong. You wouldn't dare accept the challenge, would you?" The bear-headed demon clan member challenged him sarcastically. Han Li's expression remained calm, but a cold, murderous aura suddenly emanated from him. Hey, this demon from some unknown tribe looks angry. Ha ha ha, so what if he's angry? Even if he fights against opponents of higher levels, there's a limit. The fun is about to begin. The demon cultivators from other tribes all retreated and looked at the two people in the field with interest. Ha! Han Li roared, and a huge white beam of light shot up into the sky, instantly triggering the Super Saiyan transformation. At the same time, he also activated the Doomsday Zombie True Ancestor form. The terrifying aura suddenly burst out, causing Shang Tanyer's pupils to shrink, and his heart couldn't help but be a little nervous. Is this demon really only in the Golden Core stage? Thinking of this, he turned around and glanced at the group of friends who had retreated to a distance. These guys want to use me as a knife. I might be busy with the new year recently, so I'll try to update as much as possible. Chapter 281 Demon War. Han Li's dragon wings trembled, and a wave of white electricity erupted from his body, instantly vanishing from the spot. Shang Tanyer's heart trembled, instantly sensing a fatal danger. He roared, and his demonic energy suddenly erupted, forming a spherical magic shield. His consciousness swept around, trying to find Han Li. With a crack, space suddenly shattered. Long nails, like razor-sharp daggers, pierced the protective magic shield in the blink of an eye. Then, a flash of lightning flashed. The lightning slowed Shang Tanyer's reaction for a moment, and in that brief moment, the claw with the slender nails had penetrated the back of his head and emerged from his forehead. Cyan demonic blood flowed, and a sickening bloody smell filled the air. How dare he kill monsters on the Skyfire Ancient Star? And the one he killed was the eldest prince of the Cheyenne Bear clan. This time he has offended them to death. He is so powerful that he could kill Shang Tanyer in one encounter. His strength is at least in the late Drinksa period. It seems we have miscalculated, but it doesn't matter. Even if we can't force him, there will be other ways to force him to surrender and hand over the points obediently. This Shang Tanyer is so stupid. He didn't even send a guard to test the opponent's strength. Most of the monster cultivators of the Cheyenne Bear clan are rather reckless. Haha, this is the best Pathfinder. This eldest prince of the Cheyenne Bear clan didn't even bring a guard when he went out. I'm afraid he himself didn't expect that on this Skyfire Ancient Star, there would be someone who dared to kill him. Haha, so be it, he's dead. The Cheyenne Bear clan doesn't need a fool like him. The remaining 30 or so monsters all watched coldly. No one stood up to speak up for Shang Tanyer's death. Some people even had a hint of ridicule in their eyes. Han Li withdrew his hand, and the massive, 3-meter-tall corpse instantly fell to the ground with a resounding bang. He didn't undo his transformed form, but instead turned to look at the remaining group of dandies, his eyes radiating cold murderous intent. There's no way I can use the points on these demons. Since I can't hide this any longer, let's kill them all before I leave. Those scattered demons won't stop me, after all, they're just juniors. A faint smile played on Han Li's lips. Then, with a gentle flap of his dragon wings, he vanished again, transforming into a shadowy, invisible form that charged directly into the crowd. A series of muffled sounds followed, and several demon cultivators fell to the ground, either with jagged holes in their foreheads or their entire heads missing, their spirits unable to escape in time. The others were stunned for a moment before reacting immediately. "He's going to wipe us all out," one of the fox beast demon cultivators roared in horror. Another burly man in crocodile armor, his eyes gleaming with ferocity, declared, "With so many of us, how can we possibly be afraid of him? Even if he's favored by the demon ancestor, he'll surely be punished for killing so many talented individuals from various races. Why don't we join forces and cripple him?" Before he could finish his words, a vicious gust of wind swept in, seemingly sealing off the surrounding space. With a whirlwind, the crocodile-armored man's head was severed by the dragon's wing, and his spirit exploded with a strange force. "Help, run!" The once high-spirited and ambitious dandies of various races now fled for their lives, crying out for help. Cracks in space appeared, and the chaotic spatial tide within seemed to devour everything. "Stop!" With a single word, space and time froze around him. Han Li attacked continuously, annihilating the entire group of demon cultivators in a matter of seconds. Release. Time and space returned to normal, demonic blood strewn across the ground, the corpses of the elite from various races lying there. The newly opened cracks in space slowly closed. Silence. After Han Li finished all this, he released his Doomsday Zombie True Ancestor form and exited his Super Saiyan transformation, transforming into a green-robed man with an ordinary face, crimson pupils, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. In the void outside the ancient demon palace, several scattered demons were communicating with each other through their spiritual consciousness. "This boy, such ruthless tactics, truly worthy of a son of my demon clan. He's offended 30 clans at once. Isn't he afraid of retaliation from those great clans? With the demon ancestor's protection, this boy will definitely be fine. Even if those great clans are angry, they can't lash out. After all, he's a demon chosen by the upper realm." Just now, in that final moment, what method did Han Li unleash? "I couldn't even see clearly, and those juniors inexplicably perished. This must be his trump card. I've been in the cultivation world for many years, and I've never seen such a strange method." Han Li had already reached the 10,000 Demons Hall. 2 giant blue-skinned demons, over 100 feet tall, stood before the entrance. Upon seeing him approach, they stepped aside to make way for a pitch-black passage. With an unconscious nod, he walked into the passage without hesitation. The 10,000 Demons Hall was a self-contained space. While seemingly modest from the outside, it seemed to conceal a secret realm within. A massive throne, thousands of feet high, sat a being of utterly terrifying aura. With long, emerald green hair, crimson eyes, and purple lips, he bore enormous wings, standing nearly 10,000 feet tall. And that was only his non-combat form. Once in his true form, he could reach millions of feet. This demon was none other than the demon ancestor Xuan Chen, the master of the 10,000 Demons Palace and the spiritual leader of the entire demon cultivation community. Below him stood 8 scattered demons, each possessing a terrifying aura. Each, individually, possessed the strength of at least the 6th Tribulation Loose Realm. Han Li's expression remained calm as he gazed up at the towering demon ancestor, his face devoid of fear. The size difference between the two was like that of a giant compared to an ant on the ground. Xuan Chen lowered his gaze, observing the prince's towering figure. A smile gradually spread across his face, and he said, "Han Li, the exchange list for the immortal, demon, and demon trial has opened. What are you planning to redeem?" "I haven't decided yet," Han Li replied calmly. At this moment, a green-faced demon suddenly turned, emanating a powerful spiritual pressure. He angrily shouted, "Bold Han Li, you may be the foremost prodigy of our demon clan, but when you meet the demon ancestor, it's fine if you don't greet him, but you actually dare not use his honorific title. You truly disrespect the demon ancestor." "Oh, those Li Sep people I killed outside, are there any descendants of your clan among them?" Han Li suddenly asked without thinking. Li said, "It's definitely not a good thing." This question made the green-faced demon subconsciously narrow his eyes. If he told the truth, it would reveal his ulterior motives. But to deny it would be a lie. Those present were all 6 Tribulation's demon-level powerhouses, and they had already witnessed the scene outside the ancient demon palace. Although the green-faced demon was furious, he knew that silence was the best policy at this moment. He snorted coldly and did not respond. With a rhetorical question, combined with a combination of defense and attack, the green-faced demon was silenced. Such means made all the demons present secretly admire him in their hearts. How great it would be if there was a younger generation like this among their own relatives. On a high position, the demon Zhuan raised a faint smile at the corner of his mouth. He was very satisfied with the younger generation in front of him. Whether it was the talent for cultivation or the mental means, he was the best choice. He was decisive and ruthless in doing things, knew how to take advantage of the situation, and had a courageous and diligent heart. Such demons are indeed rare. For a moment, Zhuan even had the urge to pass on the throne. But when he thought of the message from the upper realm, he suppressed this thought. The demon world is the stage for such a genius. I have a suggestion. If you're willing to contribute to the demon race, you can tick the third item on the list. Before Zhuan could finish, Han Li interrupted him impatiently. Stop talking. I don't want to. What did you say? Zhuan face darkened, and the atmosphere in the hall seemed to freeze. A cold, murderous aura emanated from the green-faced cultivator, who shouted flatly, "How dare you interrupt the demon ancestor? Han Li, are you tired of living? Han Li, as a member of the demon race, how dare you speak like that?" Another old man with white hair and a leopard's mouth stepped forward and rebuked. The other four also turned, looking at Han Li with complicated eyes. Surprise, gloating, disgust, jealousy, anger. Zhuan took a deep breath and asked again, "Han Li, as a member of my demon clan, why are you unwilling to serve us? Haha. What a bunch of idiots." Han Li laughed heartily. "Who said I'm a member of the demon clan?" His frantic laughter echoed throughout the hall. "What? Not a demon clan? Is he crazy, or is he truly fearless?" A terrifying murderous intent emanated from Zhuan. The surrounding space suddenly shifted, revealing a sea of blood and corpses. Han Li could even smell the stench of blood in the air. This level of murderous aura had already given rise to hallucinations. How many lives must have been killed to accumulate such a murderous aura? A hexagram flashed in Han Li's eyes, and he looked up at the demon ancestor Zhuan. Above him, a blood cloud had grown dark red, covering tens of thousands of acres in size, with countless wronged souls howling in agony. Furthermore, he witnessed scenes of horrific suffering. In his youth, the demon ancestor Zhuan traveled across numerous star regions, slaughtering countless beings. Sometimes, simply to satisfy his cravings, he devoured an entire planet's worth of humanity. Billions of lives perished. A chilling light flashed in Han Li's eyes, and a terrifying murderous aura emanated from him. "How dare you attempt to kill me? Who gave you the courage?" Zhuan face was as gloomy as water, but a hint of the smile that only emanated from the utmost rage played on his lips. "Who gave me the courage?" Han Li suddenly blinked and playfully replied, "Fish Liang." With that, he used his 72 transformations to transform all his demonic energy into blood-red demonic energy, and then a demonic flame several feet long shot out from his eyes. "Ha ha ha, the heavenly demon disintegration technique. You fools, I'll be back." "Stop," Han Li said, and instantly activated the time stop technique. His body instantly exploded, leaving behind only a vast cloud of demonic energy. Soon, time and space began to flow again. High above, the demon ancestor Zhuan abruptly stood up, staring grimly at the location of the demonic energy. The numerous scattered demons below sensed the violent aura wafting through the air, terrified like quails at the sight of an eagle, their voices trembling in fear. "We've been tricked." Zhuan gritted his teeth in anger, forcing out two harsh words, "Demon Clan, pass the order down. All forces in every star region, assemble and launch a joint attack on the Demon Clan. This time, we must teach them a painful lesson, as you command." A few days later, a shocking battle suddenly erupted across the various cultivation stars. As if harboring an irreconcilable feud, the demons and monsters united forces from various cultivation worlds, launching a surprise attack on the demon world. This battle caught the demons off guard and left them utterly bewildered. They had sent forces to stop and kill the first cultivator of Blue Planet, but their efforts were unsuccessful. Such a large-scale attack left them bewildered. The bloodbath claimed countless cultivators. Cultivators below the void stage didn't even have the chance to escape the battlefield, as their planets perished one after another. Although the demons suffered heavy losses initially, their deep-seated resources quickly organized themselves, leading to a protracted stalemate. The human race, a force to be reckoned with in the Kyanite realm, naturally became a target of both races' wooing. Various benefits and promises were offered as leverage. While the higher-ups of the human holy court were unaware of the cause of the sudden conflict between the two races, they welcomed it and watched the conflict unfold with aloof eyes. The holy court refrained from placing excessive restrictions on the human race's subordinate factions, allowing them to choose who they wanted to assist based on their own circumstances. Essentially, there was only one principle: whoever offered the highest price would receive assistance. The human forces scattered throughout the Kyanigan realm became like mercenaries. Some powerful human beings above the void stage plied their trade between the two races, exploiting the situation to reap numerous benefits. Among them, the Demon Suppression Hall proved particularly popular with the demon race. They were hired by the demon clan's higher-ranking officials for a large sum, promising rewards for the slaying of a demon cultivator. Soon after, the Demon Suppression Hall, clad in blood-stained robes, appeared out of nowhere. They also wore ghost masks and, on behalf of the demon race, dispatched cultivators to slay them for rewards. The two factions engaged in open and covert warfare, with countless cultivators perishing daily. Coupled with the covert instigation of the Demon Suppression Hall and the Demon Suppression Hall, the friction between the two sides escalated. Su Poman sat securely on the throne. The newly emerged Demon Suppression Hall was naturally part of his scheme. The demons objected to the name Demon Suppression Hall, so he deliberately created another force under a different code name. In reality, both were impersonations of his spirit clones. While carrying out their missions, these clones would, at opportune moments, transform into the appearances of either a demon or a demon, fueling enmity and escalating friction, making the conflict even more irreconcilable. The ravages of this war were immense, occasionally spilling over into human territory, but these were minor concerns. The two races were locked in a fierce conflict, so naturally, they wouldn't offend the powerful human ally. Whenever they encountered human forces, both sides would avoid them. Only then did Su Poman understand what it was like for the rogue nation on Blue Planet to profit from the war, supporting both sides and profiting from both ends. The resulting wealth was unimaginable to ordinary people. All sorts of rare treasures treasured by both races, materialized one by one and slipped into Su Poman's pocket without anyone noticing. The growth rate of energy crystals also began to soar. In the new year, I wish all fellow Taoists a prosperous year of the tiger, all the best, sudden wealth, continuous promotion, and a smooth career. I wish all students academic success, a fulfilling life, and passing every subject and achieving excellence in every subject. I wish all single Taoists to find a Taoist partner in the new year. I wish our motherland peace and prosperity for all. Love you all. Chapter 282, The Tribulation Period. A few days later, Su Poman emerged before the Sun Star. Gazing at the vast procession of millions of cultivating spiritual clones, a feeling welled up within him. My cultivation should be sufficient, his eyes gleamed, and with a wave of his hand, 100,000 of his cultivating spiritual clones instantly shattered. Invisible rays of light, spanning the void, descended directly upon Su Poman. Boom! A golden red wave of energy suddenly erupted from his flesh, and a seemingly tangible golden crow Dharmakaya emerged from behind him. As his cultivation experience continued to flow in, his cultivation level soared. Early tribulation crossing. Middle tribulation crossing. Only at that point did his cultivation cease to grow. Su Poman slowly opened his eyes, a look of amazement on his face as he muttered to himself, using only 1/10 of my spiritual clones, I've already broken through to the middle tribulation crossing stage. This cultivation speed is truly extraordinary. With a flick of his mind, another 100,000 clones shattered, transforming into rays of light and returning to their original form. Boom! Late stage of tribulation transcendence, great consummation. A faint aura of tribulation emerged from within his primordial spirit, as if resonating with the way of heaven. Is the tribulation transcendence coming so soon? Majuan Yuan Zhen Shigong hasn't even reached the tribulation transcendence stage yet, so I'd better suppress it for now. As he spoke, Su Poman's aura transformed, instantly obscuring the aura of the heavenly tribulation. Next, Su Poman looked at the 500,000 shadow clones cultivating the Zhuan Yuan Zhen Shiguang, and with a single thought, they shattered in an instant. His cultivation experience transformed into a massive torrent, descending directly upon him. A massive Gang Yuan white dragon emerged from his body, every detail gradually becoming clearer. Lifelike scales, claws, and tentacles, the giant white dragon seemed to come alive, and the faint dragons might begin to radiate. Boom. Fusion stage. Boom. Void stage. Boom. Tribulation transcendence stage. Leaping 3 levels, the Zuanian's Henshigong reached the same level as the Golden Crow, transforming the sun. Su Poman's body also felt the boost from the immortal path for the first time, its defense doubling. He clenched his fist, and dark cracks appeared around his fist, as if even space could no longer withstand the force of his palm. My key refining and body refining skills have both reached the tribulation crossing stage. It's time to find a place to overcome the heavenly tribulation. Glancing at the sun star, Su Poman leaped away, soaring towards an unfamiliar starry sky. Countless meteorites and stars of various sizes drifted in the vast sea of stars. The nebula, like spilled paint, shimmered in a dazzling array of colors. These stars and meteorites were composed of a wide variety of materials, including diamonds, gold, black iron, golden obsidian, and water-drop copper. Su Poman even saw a star composed entirely of silver ore, radiating a silvery glow. If Immortal could obtain even 1/10,000th of this star, they would have enough silver to last them 10 lifetimes. However, in the eyes of cultivators, such materials were of little value. Similarly, in their eyes, mortal silver was no different from a pile of weeds. Su Poman flew in one direction for a long time before finally finding a satisfactory place to transcend his tribulation. The planet was dark gray in color and smaller than Kaingsing. Su Poman scanned the entire planet with his spiritual sense and found no signs of life. It floated alone in the starry sky, with no other planets nearby. The nearest star was only a bowl-sized ball of light, illuminating everything with a dim blue-purple light. Furthermore, this cultivation planet lacked a stratum of impulsive winds, leaving it exposed to all manner of cosmic rays. Its surface was pockmarked with craters and piled high with various meteorites. From a distance, it resembled a vast interstellar garbage dump. Su Poman slowly descended, a wave of energy erupting from his body, instantly sweeping away debris from the ground and clearing a spacious, clean square. Sensing the calamity energy within his primordial spirit, he sat cross-legged on the ground and slowly closed his eyes. The gravel on the ground was gray-black, incredibly hard, and showed no signs of weathering. An inexplicable sense gradually blossomed within his primordial spirit, like a seed breaking from its shell and sprouting. A mysterious aura slowly descended. Come, Su Poman opened his eyes again, his pupils turning crimson. Let me see the power of a double heavenly tribulation. This time, he intended for both primordial spirits to undergo the tribulation together, simultaneously entering the Mahayana stage. A murmur, like the sound of an ancient horn, echoed. Suddenly, a spatial tide erupted from the void, tinting the sky a deep crimson. The crimson sky emanated a cosmic majesty, as if it were a deity ruling over all things, wielding the authority of the heavens, inspiring awe. Then, the sky slowly swirled, like a whirlpool in the ocean, churning the surrounding void into itself. Thick purple serpents of electricity emerged from the void, then were sucked into the vortex, which had become like a giant funnel. A tremendous rumbling sound echoed from the horizon, like an ancient chariot approaching from afar. The vortex intensified, completely turbulent, and the spiritual energy of heaven and earth within a radius of millions of miles was completely chaotic. Giant serpents of electricity twisted and turned within the vortex. Gradually, the vortex ceased its rotation and transformed into a terrifying purple cloud of heavenly tribulation. A purple calamity cloud hovered beneath a crimson sky. Su Poman raised his head, his eyes gleaming with brilliance. His long hair swayed silently behind his shoulders, and his robes seemed to swell as if blown by a strong wind. Then, he activated his Day of Doom, zombie progenitor form once again, intending to strengthen his resistance to the heavenly thunder. Within the calamity clouds, the previously chaotic lightning, as if controlled by an invisible hand, gradually converged into a single point, forming a dazzling streak of lightning. This power is truly extraordinary. The air around him grew more oppressive, as if frozen. Here it comes. Su Poman's eyes shone brightly, and with a sense of his own, he soared upwards, heading towards the sky. Boom! After a tremendous roar of thunder, 2 purple lightning bolts, like serpentine dragons, struck down. He slowly opened his arms, as if in an embrace, without defending himself, allowing the thunder to descend upon his flesh. Crack! The lightning instantly engulfed Su Poman. And after a few breaths, his figure reappeared. There's no way to break through my defenses. It seems my previous tribulation has already given me a considerable resistance to the thunder. Come again, Su Poman raised his head, staring directly at the tribulation cloud, and raised his finger, as if in a challenge. Boom! At this moment, 2 more bolts of thunder fell from the sky. Compared to the previous 2, they were even thicker and brighter. The 2 bolts of thunder twisted and plowed through the void, leaving dark streaks in their wake. Then, the sky and the earth suddenly brightened, and the deafening sound of thunder echoed continuously. Chapter 283 Rushing into the Calamity Cloud. Su Poman was bathed in the lightning. The terrifying tribulation thunder, feared by countless tribulation crossing cultivators, only caused a slight tingling sensation, leaving him unharmed. He closed his eyes, carefully sensing the power within the lightning, while also employing his lightning control ability to attempt to control the thunder. It was a violent, destructive sensation, like an untamed wild horse, completely incapable of control with the abilities of the red-eyed zombie alone. Soon, the lightning dissipated, and the purple tribulation clouds in the sky once again condensed into 2 bolts of lightning. Boom! The power of these 2 bolts increased significantly. However, thanks to his adaptive evolution, Su Poman's body had become more resistant to the tribulation thunder, and once again, he withstood the thunderbolt's bombardment unscathed. This time, he again closed his eyes and sensed the power contained within the thunder. Accompanied by repeated earth-shaking thunderclaps, the once dim planet occasionally lit up, illuminating the world like daylight. Even in space millions of kilometers away from this planet, the intermittent flashes of purple lightning could be clearly seen. An aura of heavenly tribulation enveloped the surrounding star regions. Even the powerful cultivators traversing the starry sky could tell at a glance that someone was undergoing a tribulation. Divine consciousnesses of varying auras scanned the air. It's okay that he didn't set up a formation to overcome the tribulation, but he didn't even sacrifice a decent ancient treasure? He's too arrogant. This person's body has been cultivated to such a level, he must be a body refinement cultivator. Amazing. He can actually practice the body refinement technique to the tribulation period. The process of polishing the body of a body refinement cultivator is a test of the cultivator's perseverance and Tao heart. This person can reach this level. He must be a hard-working cultivator who has suffered a lot. He hasn't stimulated a body protection energy yet. Is he using his body to withstand the thunder? This beast looks a bit strange. What race is he from? Strange. There are 2 thunders falling in each level of thunder tribulation. Ha ha ha. What good luck. Meeting such a fool. Not only do we have no master to protect us, but we haven't even set up any concealing formations. Once he survives the tribulation, he'll be weak. We can just take advantage of him. Surviving the tribulation will only make him an early Mahayana cultivator. If we can't, we'll be even weaker. Before we condense into a loose immortal, we're not even a loose immortal with a single tribulation. We can be easily killed. A group of cultivators with ulterior motives quietly retreated to the vicinity of the Grey Planet, intending to wait for the tribulation to pass before attacking Su Poman. By this time, the tribulation had already struck 7 times. A huge, bottomless pit appeared in the ground below Su Poman, a sea of black scorched earth emanating wisps of green smoke. The 8th level of thunder tribulation was brewing. Purple clouds grew several times larger than before, covering an area thousands of feet in radius. Under the dark red sky, wisps of lightning converged, forming 2 pillars of lightning. Boom! Boom! The 2 lightning pillars merged into one, their piercing light piercing the heavens and earth, sending a chill through the hearts of the cultivators lurking nearby. Most of them couldn't withstand this might. Su Poman's lips curled up, his eyes alight with realization. So that's how it is. The vitality within this heavenly thunder not only refines the body but also transforms the soul. No wonder I don't feel my immortal cultivation is about to reach a breakthrough. Both of my souls are far superior to those of ordinary cultivators. The vitality contained in the heavenly thunder simply isn't enough to sustain this transformation. After a few breaths, the lightning pillars dissipated, leaving Su Poman unharmed, his expression normal. That's a tricky idea. I'm retreating. This guy is too perverted. I won't get involved. Many of the cultivators who had originally intended to take advantage of the situation backed off, tearing through the void and attempting to leave. Haha, you're thinking of leaving now? Don't you think it's a little late? A soft sigh echoed through the air, and then, one after another, black-clad figures wearing ghost masks appeared on the scene. Demon suppressing envoys, one of the middle-aged Taoists, with a green face and no beard, recognized the origins of these shadow clones at a glance. The color drained from his face. He hurriedly said, We were just passing through here and didn't harm anyone. Why did you come to me? Besides, I'm a human cultivator. You shouldn't be here now." After this period of fermentation, the demon-suppressing palace, a newly emerged force, had gained a reputation far and wide, becoming one of the most formidable forces in the Kyanian realm. On the demon battlefield, they had slain countless great demon cultivators, and wherever they went, they trembled in fear, fearing that they would become the target of the demon-suppressing envoys. "Then where should we be?" one of the demon-suppressing envoys asked with a smile. The green-faced Taoist moved his fingers slightly, and a teleportation order was immediately clasped in the palm of his hand. Only then did he breathe a sigh of relief and said calmly, "Shouldn't you be on the demon battlefield now? Why did you come to this desolate little Guangstar region? It is not your turn to point fingers at what the demon suppression palace does. Since you have evil intentions, don't leave," the demon suppression messenger said in a cold tone, and then he opened the eye of judgment and looked at the group of cultivators hidden in the void. At this moment, a white-haired old man appeared and snorted coldly, "What a big tone! I am Kang Liangsing's shadow-killing ancestor. I have been in seclusion for 100 years and have just come out. I have never heard of any demon suppression envoy. Don't be so reckless as to boast like that, shadow-killing ancestor, be quiet. Do not provoke them. These people are from the demon suppression palace. You may not have heard of them. They are extremely powerful, and countless powerful warriors are hidden in their forces. Many demon cultivators above the void stage have fallen at their hands before." A voice was heard, and the white-haired old man's expression gradually changed. When he looked at the group of black-clothed men again, his eyes narrowed slightly, no longer daring to look them in the face. A deep fear appeared on his face. "Stop!" The surrounding space and time suddenly froze, and the body of a demon suppression envoy suddenly exploded, and was devoured by the laws of time and turned to ashes. "Kill!" Tens of thousands of ghostly-faced, black-clad figures flash everywhere, relentlessly harvesting the lives of the monks. Just as time and space were about to begin to flow, "Stop!" another demon suppressor was reduced to ash. This combat method was developed by Su Poman himself during his time on the demon battlefield. After one shadow clone used the ability to stop time, another clone would use it again before time and space could resume, prolonging the control period. This method allowed the shadow clones to prevail even against cultivators far superior in cultivation. While there was a slight cost, Su Poman considered it insignificant. Su Poman, still at a distance, was unaffected. The purple tribulation clouds in the sky continued to roll and spread, enveloping an area tens of thousands of feet in radius. "It's the 9th level of thunder tribulation. I guess that vitality isn't enough. I'd better take action myself." Lightning flashed within the purple tribulation clouds, seemingly concealing some mysterious power. The 9th level of heavenly thunder was slowly gathering. Su Po's eyes lit up red, and he stretched out his arms, charging directly into the tribulation cloud. At the same time, two blazing beams of light shot out from his eyes, carrying terrifying temperatures, shooting towards the tribulation thunder cloud. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 284, Advancement to Mahayana Stage. Has he lost his mind? He actually charged into the calamity cloud. Is he throwing his life away? He's truly fearless. Farther from the planet, several cultivators exclaimed in astonishment. Hiss. The incoming heat rays, like a spoonful of water poured on hot oil, instantly roiled the purple calamity cloud, and the gathering 9th level heavenly thunder also underwent a transformation. A dragon head, as massive as a city, condensed, its eyes radiating an incomparably majestic divine light. As it appeared, it fixed its gaze on Su Poman. Its entire body was crystal clear, as if carved from the finest amethyst. A terrifying lightning flashed around it, emanating a constant aura of destruction. Tian Lingzi, upon seeing this, was struck by a chill. Unlike before, Su Poman had already refined the Xianbao Phantom Spirit Pagoda. Even the pagoda spirit could not forcibly retract its master. That brat is really courting death. I hope he survives this. Su Poman was engulfed in a calamity cloud, lightning flashing around him as arcs of lightning struck him relentlessly. See you again. This time, I won't run away. Lasers shot out from his eyes, stirring the calamity cloud into violent turmoil. A swish. Red light swept across the purple dragon, emitting a subtle sound. The ancient thunder dragon remained unscathed. Composed of energy, it was least afraid of such an attack. It opened its maw and roared, seemingly enraged. The moment Su Poman heard the thunderous roar, a monstrous purple light illuminated before him. The enormous dragon soared through the tens of thousands of feet of calamity cloud, then suddenly swooped down. All this happened in a flash of lightning, and the phantom of the thunder dragon still lingered above the calamity cloud. An ordinary person would have been dead the moment they heard the roar. Su Poman's dragon wings folded behind him, enveloping him in a bioforce field. A wave of purple light crashed heavily upon him, then passed through. Like water surging through a rock, Su Poman appeared within the thunder dragon's body, creating a dazzling, dense flash of lightning. Rumble. Instantly, the heavens crumbled and the earth split apart. The gray planet's doom had arrived. Passing through Su Poman's body, the thunder dragon's momentum continued unabated, piercing the ground with its head, creating a massive breach. Its head emerged from the other side of the planet. At this moment, the planet's core was ravaged, and the previously cohesive soil plates began to separate. From afar, the planet resembled a clod of earth crushed by fingers. Deep, bottomless cracks rapidly spread, volcanoes erupted, and magma seeped from the cracks in the earth. In space, the gray planet crumbled. The ancient thunder dragon roared to the heavens, and thunderclouds gathered, transforming into its wings as it charged towards Su Poman once again. Crash! Golden dragon wings spread, revealing Su Poman. His entire body flashed with electric light, as if he had just been in the electric chair. His eyes reflected the image of the ancient thunder dragon charging at him, and he thought to himself, before, I might not have been able to withstand your attack, but now, it's different. A giant white dragon suddenly appeared behind him, gazing coldly at the ancient thunder dragon. He clenched his fingers into his palms, pulled his arm back, and formed an incredibly profound fist stance. Simultaneously, the gangian white dragon's upper body rose high, forming a seamless connection with his arm. Zuanin Zenshi, White Dragon Ascension Fist. The moment the ancient thunder dragon rushed close, Su Poman moved, launching an uppercut. Immediately, his entire body spun and soared into the sky, the white dragon swirling behind him. A blinding flash of light erupted between the two, forming a massive ball of light that shifted from red to white, illuminating the entire star field. The landmass of the gray planet was instantly reduced to ash. The planet vanished from the cultivator's sight. Gradually, the amethyst-like dragon vanished with it. Too perverse, absolutely insane, he charged into the calamity cloud with his physical body, drew out the thunder dragon, and then dispersed the calamity cloud with a single punch. Who on earth is this person? Why haven't I heard of him before? Su Poman sat cross-legged within the vast, star-like gangian white dragon, his primordial spirit undergoing a profound transformation. Within his purple mansion, the two primordial spirits were gradually transforming. A trace of a higher-level energy began to emerge from the center of the concentrated mana. The spirit's body was constantly compressed and tempered, and a large amount of mana disappeared, transforming into immortal energy, beginning its transformation towards the formation of an immortal infant. This trace of immortal energy, as soon as it appeared, was quickly consumed by the physical body, and the body itself began to transform. The process of transitioning from mortal to immortal is the Mahayana stage. When his primordial spirit has fully transformed into an immortal infant and his body has transformed into an immortal body, that will be the day Su Poman ascends to the immortal realm. This process is incredibly long and requires time. Generally speaking, it takes at least 1,000,000 years for an ordinary Mahayana cultivator to ascend from the early stages of Mahayana to the perfect Mahayana stage. This is a transformation of both nature and spirit. Relying on external means can only shorten this time by a small amount. A month passes in the blink of an eye. For a powerful cultivator, even 100 years, let alone a month, is merely a short retreat. Su Poman slowly opened his eyes. His realm had stabilized, reaching the early stages of Mahayana. Without a trace of aura emanating from him, he looked like a mortal. The moment he stood up, the gangian white dragon vanished into the void. If only lottery opportunities could accumulate. Waking up once a month feels like time is passing by so slowly, Su Poman muttered inwardly. With a thought, shadow clones from all over the Kyanigan realm tore through the void and returned to the direction of their original form. Soon, spatial portals emerged, and shadow clones clad in black or blood-stained robes stepped out, handing over storage equipment. Most of these storage equipment contained sealed souls, while others contained precious materials and items that couldn't be converted into energy points. After sorting and organizing the items, they were all stored in a soul space. With another wave of his hand, the sky was filled with sealed souls. Su Poman's body continued to grow larger, unleashing the power of 72 transformations to transform heaven and earth. He opened his mouth wide, swallowing all the souls in an instant, then began to chew them with a crunching sound. Wisps of radiant energy emanated from his mouth and nose, forming beads at his feet. Crunchy, chicken flavor, Su Poman said, slowly returning to normal size and smacking his lips. As his spiritual power surged, the transformation of souls into immortal infants also accelerated. Hey, this is such a pleasant surprise, Su Poman thought, and the shadow clones shattered, forming torrents of chakra and mana that returned to the original body. Before they could all return, Su Poman created more shadow clones with even more powerful auras. These newly created shadow clones all possessed the cultivation level of the Great Perfection stage of the Immortal Dao, and their strength was even more formidable. Chapter 285, Hongmeng Level Kung Fu Star Transformation. Su Poman slowly closed his eyes, immersing himself in the light curtain of the purple source roulette. The sight of the number in the energy crystal column made his heart tremble. Wow, so many, my spirit shadow clone is incredible. It's transformed most of the Kyanigan realm into my vegetable garden. I wonder if 5,600 energy crystals can extract a Hongmeng level technique. Give it a try. Even if it's incomplete, I can still practice it first. Su Poman tapped the words click to extract with his mind. 5,600 energy crystals instantly disappeared from the light curtain, transforming into a dazzling beam of light that fell onto the roulette wheel. Click, 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 the ancient and mysterious object spun rapidly, and rays of light and shadow representing different abilities flickered across the wheel, constantly evolving and disappearing, constantly changing. Searching for the target, a purple light appeared on the wheel, and the pointer finally landed on a young man, approximately 1.8 meters tall, with sharp features and a friendly smile. He wore only a black vest made of a special material and black trousers. Wisps of ochre-colored air swirled around him, and beneath the pitch-black sky behind him, a vast universe seemed suspended. A golden inscription, appearing from billions of miles away through the boundless primordial spiritual energy, materialized and landed above his head. The target of this extraction is confirmed to be the Kinmeng universe, the Hongmeng controller, Kinyu, establishing a link, extracting Ding, spent 5,600 energy crystals, the extraction was successful, and you got the Hongmeng level technique, star change. If you practice it to the peak, you can create a universe. Your physical body will achieve the Zhuanghuang immortal body, and half of your soul will be integrated into the universe. If the universe is immortal, your true spirit will not die. You can connect to the Hongmeng space and get the opportunity to be named on the Hongmeng Gold list. The technique column is now open. Purple source roulette. Name, Su Poman. Realm, Early Mahayana. Skill, Star Change. Bloodline, Bronze Superman Body, 100%. Zombie Contract, First Generation Pantangu Clan Bloodline, 100%. Ancient Saiyan Bloodline, 100%. Abilities. 1. Bronze Superman Template. Possessing all the abilities of a Bronze Age Superman, and can practice to the Silver Period on his own. 2. Soul Devouring, Reverse Soul Method. 3. Infinite Resurrection. 4. Pangu Divine Body. 5. Soul Space. 6. Eye of Judgment. 7. 72 Transformations. 8. Spiritual Clone, Energy Crystals. 0. Minimum 1 energy crystal required for extraction enhancement. Available number. 0. 1 available extraction enhancement remaining this month. Current extraction target. None. An indescribable feeling washed over Su Poman as he sat cross-legged, a powerful and indescribable technique entering his mind. This technique possessed astonishing fortuity, nurturing stars within the body, constantly evolving until it ultimately nurtured a universe comparable to the universe. Nebula stage, flowing star stage, star core stage, circulating star stage, tribulation stage, stellar stage, dark star stage, black hole stage, origin stage, realm of heaven and earth, and master of the universe. This technique was distinct from other cultivation systems, and its opening was entirely written in vernacular Chinese. The first half was created by Lei Wei, while the latter was refined by Qin Yu. Golden Elixir and Nascent Soul, Are they definitely the right path for cultivation? What is the so-called pursuit of heaven's way? Observing the evolution of the universe, I created this technique, which can be regarded as a path for cultivation. This technique is divided into 6 realms. Let's discuss the first one, the nebula chapter. After a cultivator successfully transcends the tribulation, the innate true energy in the boundless stanchion becomes liquid. It must be condensed together into a water ball, and then refined into golden elixir. But must it be so? Must it be gathered? The first step of my star change is to disperse, turning the innate true energy back into gaseous form and disperse it. Not only spread throughout the dantian, but even outside the body, using the dantian as the heart and the body as the bridge, connecting the universe and the original heart, and jointly evolving the heaven's way and nature. Su Poman opened his eyes and exclaimed, "This lay way is such a brilliant genius. He can actually come up with such a practice method. If he hadn't died, there would be no chance for Qin Yu to be the controller of Hongming." The prerequisite for practicing star change is to first practice 3 diagrams of Tongshan and reach the realm of innate external skills. This might seem difficult to others, but to Su Poman, it could be mastered in a matter of breaths. His eyes flashed, and pillars of silver, gold, and purple energy rose from his body, gradually intertwining and condensing into tricolored armor. In a mere moment, the 3 diagrams of Tongshan were complete. Within his dantian, a nebula suddenly appeared, slowly swirling like a cloud, absorbing energy from the outside universe and slowly condensing into particles. First gathering, then dispersing, strands of energy transformed into purple Zenki, which then enveloped Su Poman's entire body. The purple mist darted through his countless pores, gathering and dispersing within his dantian like clouds, forming a strange cycle. Slowly, the silver particles formed a nebula, and at its center, a pale blue flame floated. Under the sunlight, strands of the sun's true fire were consumed by Su Poman's cells, and the energy they transformed was plundered in small quantities by the nebula. In just a few breaths, Su Poman's body seemed to undergo a sea of transformation. The nebula evolved at an incredibly rapid pace, surging cosmic energy pouring in from all directions, fueling its rapid evolution. Silver particles gradually coalesced, forming a fist-sized stone. Initially, the stone was translucent, wisps of the sun's true fire immersing within, and the flames within began to grow brighter and brighter. Then, the stone grew larger, forming a meteorite emitting a blazing light. "I never thought my superhuman body would enhance the effects of star transformation," Su Poman secretly rejoiced. He took a step forward, and the surrounding space and time transformed, instantly arriving on the sun star. This time, he faced the sun directly. The surging flames were filled with violent energy. With a lower cultivation level, it would be impossible to reach this distance. The surface of the sun star was like a fireball, constantly emitting a dazzling light, with black and red dots appearing and disappearing. Every cell in Su Poman's body trembled with excitement as he frantically devoured the surrounding solar true fire. Feeling as if he had fallen into a sea of it. His superhuman body was strengthening at an unprecedented rate, even at the Mahayana stage, experiencing a significant improvement. Within his dantian, strands of solar true fire reflected into the meteor, constantly tempering it. Simultaneously, the cosmic energy in the void transformed into a substance distinct from the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Being absorbed into the meteor's size grew at a visible rate, and the patch of void opened up from his dantian also grew, seemingly transforming into a small patch of starry sky. Against the pitch-black backdrop, the meteor radiated a dark red glow. Within the purple mansion, 2 primordial spirits, still and completely transformed into immortal infants, seemed to sense something and transformed into 2 beams of light. They escaped from the Niwan Palace, descending from above, and entered the Ki-Hai dantian. Both of these spirits exuded an immortal aura. One wore a scarlet robe and had a resolute expression, while the other was surrounded by a white dragon. Both bore a striking resemblance to Su Poman, but each exuded a distinctly different aura. One's aura was as violent as a volcano about to erupt, while the other's was as calm as the abyss, its aura as gentle as jade, like a graceful young man. Chapter 286 The Princess of the Red Butterfly Clan. Above the 2 primordial spirits, in the newly opened black void, a meteor blazed with a flickering crimson light. As the red light dotted across the sky, Su Poman's 2 primordial spirits felt an inexplicable warmth. Then, he vaguely sensed that the transformation of the primordial spirit into the celestial infant had accelerated slightly. If it weren't for his keen perception, This slight change would have easily gone unnoticed. This star change can actually speed up the transformation of the primordial spirit. It's really a pleasant surprise, since the true fire of the sun absorbed by the Superman body can speed up the practice of star change. Then next time I extract a physique that can absorb starlight, won't that take off? According to this speculation, if star change wants to condense planets, stars, and even stars in the sky step by step, and even eventually evolve into a complete universe, it must need a large amount of star power at the beginning. If I have a physique that can absorb the energy of those Haussian stars, then my practice speed will definitely be much faster. In addition, the Superman body is currently still in the bronze stage. If it can reach the silver Superman body, then the combat power will probably be able to compete with the real immortals. By then, the speed of absorbing stellar energy will be much faster. Su Poman analyzed various possibilities with the help of the superbrain, and made reasonable assumptions and reasonings for each plan. At the same time, he also recalled some movies he had watched when he was on Blue Star, thinking about which ability to extract that would be more suitable for the current situation. On the massive sun star, a place where even a spiritual consciousness would be instantly destroyed, a muscular figure sat cross-legged, shirtless, wearing only a pair of shorts with a white dragon pattern. He stood like a solid rock amidst the raging waves, unmoved. The surrounding flames, terrifying as they were, could not harm him in the slightest. Meanwhile, a strangely shaped ancient crimson boat swiftly emerged from the turbulent void, pursued by hundreds of bizarre demonic creatures. Inside the cabin, a young girl with shawl blue hair, golden eyes, and a blood-red dress gazed anxiously at the scene within the water mirror formation. Beside her stood a hunchbacked old man, also with blue hair and golden eyes. "What should we do, Elder Key? These demonic cultivators are chasing us too closely. We can't escape." Ki Yuhun's face paled at the thought of her and her companions being overtaken by those demonic brood. It's well known that the cultivators of the demon clan are extremely promiscuous, even more so than the dragon clan. Once a member of the opposite sex falls into their hands, regardless of their race or ability to withstand it, they will be brutally ravaged by the demon clan. "Miss, we can only find a human planet to hide on. I hope these demons will restrain themselves. After all, the human race is now the target of our mutual wooing, and they dare not offend us. We can take advantage of this opportunity to fish in troubled waters and escape. Before we go, we can kill some humans to frame them and have the human cultivators help intercept them. We can then drive the tiger to devour the wolf," the hunchbacked old man said slowly. Ki Yuhun nodded gently, a hint of concern in her brow. "For now, this is the only solution." The hunchbacked old man licked his lips, a sinister smile on his face. With a wave of his hand, the void was broken, and the group appeared within the flowing light star region. "Although I am a Mahayana demon cultivator, the guardians of the human cultivation planets are equally powerful. I must choose a weaker one. Otherwise, I'll end up losing more than I gain, bringing disgrace upon myself and offending the higher-ups of the human race. The demon ancestor will probably be furious, and our fate will surely not be good." He placed his hands behind his back, his eyes seemingly encompassing an infinite sea of stars. His powerful spiritual awareness radiated outward, enveloping a vast area. "Let's go." With a wave of his sleeve, he swept the girl away, leaving only a dozen or so servants behind. "Master Key, take us with you," a demon cultivator with a dog's head and a human body shouted in panic, heading in the direction the two had disappeared. Beside him stood a yellow-robed cultivator with white fur on his face. His expression was sullen, and he shouted angrily, "Don't you see the situation clearly? We've been abandoned like pawns. Only by fleeing separately can we have a chance of survival. Quick!" With that, a bloody glow emanated from the yellow-robed demon cultivator, and he transformed into a bloody shadow, escaping into the distance, seemingly having already used a forbidden technique that burned his essence in blood. Seeing this, the other demons reacted with panic on their faces. After a moment's mental struggle, they scattered like birds and beasts, each choosing a disparate escape in a different direction. Shortly after they departed, the void stirred again. With a swish, a chasm several dozen feet wide ripped through the air, and demonic monsters emerged, followed by dozens of powerful demon cultivators. "Haha, the little princess of the Red Butterfly clan is truly a shrewd escapist. She's kept us chasing for so long." A towering figure, his face covered in black demonic patterns, raised his mace and sneered. "Spread out and chase. Don't let any escape." A cold-faced demon cultivator with waist-length hair waved his hand, transforming into a meteor-like streak of light and flying in one direction. Sixth brother, there are human forces nearby. Don't get carried away with killing and forget the orders of the Demon Lord. HMPH, I won't do anything reckless. A group of demons with elephant-like trunks, trembling their 70-foot-long nasal tubes, scanned the path for any trace of demons. The demon cultivators followed behind, quickly recaptured each and every one of the fleeing demons. Why are all these small fry caught? Did the old one from the Red Butterfly clan escape? The burly figure with a demonic face watched the demons being sent back. He subconsciously touched the bulging crotch, put it to his nose and sniffed it. With a roll of his eyes, he revealed an expression of deep enjoyment and whispered, "That's the smell. It's intoxicating, but if I don't smell it once a day, I feel listless all day." The demon cultivators standing around him quickly lowered their heads, pretending not to notice. At that moment, ripples suddenly appeared in space. The next moment, a three-eyed demon cultivator flashed over, bowed his head and reported, "Commander-in-Chief, the elephant demons discovered that the two monsters of the Red Butterfly clan entered a planet where humans cultivate. Today my brother wanted to taste the little princess of the Red Butterfly clan. But now it may be troublesome for a while. Why bother struggling? It's really..." The burly man with a demon-marked face frowned and said with a very unhappy look, "Come on, take me to see." Yes, a group of people came to a water blue planet in a mighty manner. Just pull them out and take them away directly. The great cultivators of the human race should not have any objections. Pass the order down. After entering the planet, no conflict with human cultivators is allowed. As you wish. I found a suitable house and will sign the contract tomorrow. It is so tiring to find a house. I am bubbling at the mouth. Chapter 287 Forbidden Law. Kyungsing. After the Star Protection Formation was triggered, the Immortal Cultivation Alliance responded swiftly, dispatching a team of skyguards to investigate. Above the vast, shrouded sea, a white mist filled the area dozens of feet above sea level. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Figures pierced the air, creating cylindrical holes through the mist. The previously calm sea surface suddenly sank, then suddenly rebounded, sending up massive waves 100 feet high. A hunchbacked old man with blue hair and golden eyes, accompanied by a young woman in a blood-red dress, fled in all directions, occasionally using special secret techniques to transform waves of demonic energy and simultaneously destroying coastal villages and towns, even some cultivators. Along the way, corpses were scattered, demonic fire raged, and the scorched earth stretched for thousands of miles, resembling a living hell. The team led by Jin Yu arrived here and ran head-on into the pursuing demon cultivators. After meeting, the two sides stood in silence above the sea, the atmosphere slightly awkward. "You demon cultivators, how dare you wreak havoc on our human territory? Are you trying to provoke a war?" Jin Yu gazed at the strange-looking white monsters, feeling a sense of apprehension. The opposing cultivators were far more powerful than himself, making him hesitant to act rashly. He could only secretly notify other masters in the alliance for support. The other side, though all demon cultivators above the void stage, were under orders to avoid direct confrontation with the human cultivators. After a long silence, the leading three-eyed demon cultivator slowly spoke, "Fellow human, we are tracking a mortal enemy of the demon race. We hope your faction will be willing to assist us and not interfere, otherwise the demon race will surely cause trouble on this cultivation planet." As he spoke, he tossed over a storage bag with snakeskin patterns. "This is just a small gift, not a token of respect. I hope you won't despise it." Jin Yu took the storage bag and scanned it with his spiritual sense. His heart suddenly warmed, and a friendly smile appeared on his face. He said, "Since this is a feud with the demon clan, please do as you please. Just don't wantonly massacre our human cultivators." "Haha, thank you, fellow Taoist. I will definitely restrain my men and ensure no harm." The three-eyed demon cultivator laughed heartily. He nodded to Jin Yu, then waved his hand and led the group out of sight. "Commander Jin, isn't this a good idea? Many mortal villages and towns on the nearby coast have been destroyed," a silver-armored cultivator behind him whispered solemnly. Jin Yu frowned, his expression darkening. He turned and raised his hand to slap the cultivator. Slap. With a crisp slap, the silver-armored cultivator was sent flying dozens of feet away. His cheek swelled up, and several teeth were knocked out. "You bastard. You're even meddling in my affairs. Those mortals are nothing. They're dead, and no one will care," Jin Yu said coldly. He then sent a message through his communication jade pendant, explaining the demon cultivator's arrival and promising to keep a close eye on them. With this, he persuaded the newly dispatched powerful members of the Alliance to return. Let's go and explore some other places. We might run into other demon cultivators. This time, we must give them a good beating. With that, Jinyu flipped his hand and produced a spirit boat. He tossed it into the air, and the boat grew in size. The Sky Guardians leaped aboard, and the boat vanished into a streak of white light, disappearing into the sky. In a secret realm, Ki-Yu-Hun sensed the formations he'd set up along the way had been triggered, and with a nervous expression, he asked, Master Ki, that group is still behind us, and the human cultivators on this cultivation star don't seem to be making any moves. What should we do next? It seems I can only use the forbidden techniques of my Red Butterfly clan to escape this calamity. Alice, destroying a life-cultivating star will inevitably bring upon me great karmic consequences and great karma. Now I lack the materials to set up the calamity-transforming formations, and it seems I'll be stuck at the Mahayana stage for the rest of my life. But, young lady, I'm glad you managed to escape. The hunchbacked old man's expression was mournful, yet tinged with a touch of tragic grandeur. He cast a doting glance at the young woman, then withdrew a blood-red jade slip from his stored ring. This jade slip contains the method for controlling the star butterfly. Young lady, please familiarize yourself with it. Once I have prepared the forbidden techniques, the star butterfly will need someone to guide it. Ki-Yu-Hun took the slip, and a torrent of information instantly filled her mind. Her eyes widened, a wisp of mist from the secret realm still lingering on her beautiful eyelashes. Her cherry-red lips slowly opened, a look of shock on her face. How could such a terrifying forbidden technique exist in the world, one that demands an entire cultivation star for its use? The hunchbacked old man pursed his lips, speaking with a hint of pride. For cultivators who have transcended the tribulation, destroying a cultivation star is easy, but they cannot harness the planet's power. The terrifying thing about this forbidden technique is that it harnesses the power generated by a planet's collapse. Combined with the bloodline abilities of my Red Butterfly clan, we can summon a projection of the Teiyu Star Butterfly. Once the Star Butterfly is revealed, even a three tribulations loose immortal can't stop us. However, blessing and curse go hand in hand. This forbidden technique is called a forbidden technique because it's so unnatural that it's unacceptable to the heavenly Dao. Therefore, a curse has been bestowed upon those who wield it. Anyone who wields it will never again improve their cultivation, and even their soul will be barred from entering the heavenly Dao's cycle of reincarnation. Therefore, no one is willing to use it unless absolutely necessary. As the hunchbacked old man explained, his aura steadily increased. His blue hair fluttered, and a brilliant blood-red light shone from his body. Chi-chi-chi. Rays of blood-red light transformed into tentacles, piercing the secret realm's membrane and spreading outward, each piercing the Earth's veins as if piercing the planet's core. Earthquakes shook many corners of Kaingsing, as if a natural disaster was imminent. At this moment, within the steamy secret realm, a figure wearing a ghost mask emerged. Long ago, Su Poman had left a clone in each of Kaingsing's secret realms, to harvest newly grown spiritual creatures after several years. Unexpectedly, he made a surprising discovery. The two demons before him were actually attempting to use forbidden techniques to destroy Kaingsing. This prompted Su Poman's main consciousness to descend upon the clone. He removed his mask, and in a flash of light and shadow, he returned to his true form. He then snapped his fingers. Stop. Within the secret realm, the flow of time and space suddenly stopped, even light froze in midair. He slowly approached the old man and the young man, a hexagram forming in his pupils. Admittedly, the two weren't particularly treacherous to their own people, but to other races, especially humans, they were heinous. My hero, his enemy, that's the truth. You may be innocent from your own perspective, and killing another race might be like slaughtering pigs and sheep for ordinary humans. But your mistake lies in being born into the demon race, and wanting to sacrifice the lives of an entire Xiu star to help you escape. Su Poman controlled his clones and approached the two men. With lightning speed, he tapped twice, puff, puff. A bloody hole instantly appeared between their brows. Then, he reached out and grabbed, snatching out two different-sized souls. Then, with ease, he sealed the souls and packed them into a jade box. With a raised head, he fled from the secret realm. Chapter 288, Heat Vision Array. Found them. They're hiding in the secret realm. Quick, go inform the demon general, a cultivator riding an elephant demon shouted excitedly. The others nearby also looked excited. Their team had found their target first, a great achievement. A moment later, the demon cultivators gathered here, surrounding the exit of the secret realm. A burly figure with a demonic face let out a strange cry, and with his mace in hand, he led the way into the secret realm. His terrifying spiritual sense instantly swept across the entire secret realm, leaving no corner unexplored. The demonic face had a strange expression on its face. His figure flashed, and he arrived in a wooded area. The surrounding trees had been broken, many reduced to ash. 2 blue-haired corpses lay silently on the ground. Who could have done this? He quickly stepped forward, searching the 2 of them. When he touched the blue-haired girl, his face lit up. The storage ring is gone, but at least it's still warm. A cloud of black, smoke-like demonic energy suddenly exploded, enveloping the area. Everyone, leave this secret realm. No one is allowed to enter without my permission. With that, the burly man flung his mace and pounced on the body of the red-dressed girl. With a swish, clothes and veil ripped apart, scattering into the distant flowers. A hint of warmth lingered on the crystal-clear skin, and the bloody hole between her brows held a unique allure to the burly man. A roar like a beast echoed continuously, creating a scene of utter lewdness in the forest. Several hours later, a horribly mangled body lay in the bushes, its body ripped apart as if torn apart by a wild beast. The hole in its forehead had widened several times, and brain matter, mixed with blood and an unknown green liquid, gurgled out. The girl's mouth was split open, all teeth gone, leaving only a dark, bottomless hole. Her eyes stared blankly at the sky, as if lingering in the moment before she was killed. Rain began to fall, and the demonic aura gradually dissipated. Soon, a ghostly figure returned from the sun star and arrived in the secret realm. Upon seeing the tragic scene in the bushes, his consciousness returned. I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen such perversion. The demons are truly demons, they really know how to play. Damn, this is disgusting. I need to wash my eyes when I get back. With that, he extended his finger, and a massive fireball, over 10 feet long, slammed into the bushes. Crackling. I hope the flames can cleanse you. Su Poman twitched his lips, feeling a wave of chill swirl around his stomach, making him feel his spirit was being polluted. With a thought, the demon suppressor sprang into action, approaching the group of demon cultivators who had just left. Amidst the starry sky, a burly man with a demonic face, riding a green-scaled demon bull, walked at the front of the group with a look of contentment. The little princess of the Red Butterfly clan is truly delicious. Even though she's dead, her springiness is truly unforgettable. Tisk, tisk, tisk. He subconsciously scratched his crotch, brought his hand to his nose, and sniffed deeply, his face transfixed with ecstasy. He then glanced at the long-haired demon cultivator beside him and asked, "Sixth brother, do you want to smell it? It still smells like the little princess of the Red Butterfly clan. Get lost." The stern-faced demon cultivator with waist-length hair shouted with displeasure. "Ha ha ha, sixth brother, you demon just can't take a joke." Suddenly, from the void ahead, figures in black, wearing ghost masks, appeared. The smile on the demon-marked face faltered, then quickly faded. The long-haired, silver-eyed demon cultivator, the demon suppressor, emanated a cold murderous intent. A purple demon sword hovered before him. Fuck. How could I have run into these evil spirits? The demon-marked face cursed inwardly. He raised his mace and shouted, "Men, charge!" There aren't any scattered demon-level masters among them. Kill! With a single command, banners fluttered, chariots hummed, and demons roared as they charged towards the black-clad men blocking the road. In a narrow encounter, the brave prevailed. At this point, they realized there was no other option but to annihilate the enemy. The demon suppressor, feared by most demon cultivators on the demon battlefield due to his immense combat prowess, was not only possessing uncanny magical powers but also often showing no fear of life or death. Once they had their sights set on a target, they would even launch suicidal attacks. Even if such a force of lunatics, under the name demon suppression, offended the demon clan's reputation, it made them hesitant to provoke them. Heat vision array, demon slayer, the black-clad figures stood in specific positions, forming a faint trapping array that obscured the sky. Buzz buzz buzz. Beneath the ghostly mask, the eyes of the spirit clones lit up red, and suddenly, the sky and earth shimmered with light like red rock crystals. The demon cultivators, who had been so proud and confident, stopped in their tracks upon seeing this scene, their bodies shaking like sieves. Some of the less powerful ones even wet their pants in fear. This is a death ray, it's terrifying. Many of our kind have perished on the demon battlefield to this kind of magical power. I want to go home, Mother. Going in like this is courting death. Lord Demon General, stop them. As the crowd cried and hesitated, crimson rays suddenly descended. Chi 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 chi. A crisscross of lasers enveloped the entire space. The terrifying power instantly killed demon cultivators below the Great Perfection stage. Only a few at the Great Perfection stage managed to cling on, but their armor was rapidly melting, and it looked as if they would not be able to hold out for much longer. Hey, little thief. How dare you bully our demon clan? The true form of the giant demon, a towering figure with a demonic face, instantly appeared among the demon-suppressing envoys. His body swelled as if inflated, becoming the size of a 10,000-foot mountain. His arms, thick as an ox, grasped his equally enlarged mace. He swung fiercely. Crash! Space ripped apart like cloth. One demon-suppressing envoy after another was sent flying backwards by the force. A demon cultivator with long hair and silver eyes also appeared behind one of the demon-suppressing envoys, slashing with a purple demonic sword, as if to split it in two. Stop! One of the spirit clones, struck by the backlash, instantly exploded, and the world froze for a moment. Boom boom boom. During this time, the demon-suppressing messengers rapidly switched forms. Not only did they activate their doomsday zombie progenitor forms, they also transformed into Super Saiyans, instantly boosting their combat power to a new level. A barrage of attacks instantly unleashed upon the two scattered demons. The long-haired, silver-eyed demon cultivator had weak defenses and could only hold out for a fraction of a second before being reduced to ash by the overwhelming onslaught. The other, the burly figure with a demonic face, himself a second-level scattered demon, possessed incredible defenses, and his cultivation techniques seemed to emphasize defense. When the time stop ended, he was only severely wounded, but not killed. When the demonic face regained consciousness, he felt excruciating pain all over his body. It all happened so quickly, and he barely had time to react before he was severely wounded. Chapter 289 Immortal Star God Body. These demon-suppressing messengers' methods are too treacherous. If I stay any longer, I'm afraid I'll die here today too. The burly man with the demonic patterns on his face glanced around, a chill welling up deep within him, and a thin layer of cold sweat broke out on his forehead. This was his body reminding him that if he didn't leave, his life would be in danger, just like the natural feeling a mortal would experience when on the verge of collapse. Cultivators have powerful senses, so these feelings are even more intense. To think that he, the demon general of Lishan, a dignified second tribulation loose demon, was being forced into such a predicament by a group of Mahayana cultivators was an unspeakable humiliation. However, compared to his life, this feeling of frustration was quickly forgotten. Only one thought remained in his mind: escape. Run. As far as possible. He never wanted to encounter anyone from the demon-suppressing palace again. As he pondered, his body shrank back to normal size, and then a purple light erupted from his body. Demon light escape. The light shrank into line, piercing the void. Once this secret technique was fully executed, it could instantly cover a distance of billions of miles. Stop! A shadowy clone exploded, and the light froze, pausing in midair. Attack after attack rained down upon the demon general of Lishan like a torrential rainstorm. The void shattered, and invisible ripples spread out, pulverizing meteorites and asteroids the moment they came into contact. This second tribulation loose demon met his doom within the time-stop field. Beside the sun star, Su Poman opened his eyes and muttered to himself, "My attack isn't quite strong enough. It takes 2 rounds to kill a second tribulation loose demon. It seems I need to acquire a more powerful attack when I have the chance." Then, he slowly closed his eyes again, immersing himself in the practice of star transformation. This technique embodies the fundamental principles of cosmic evolution. Ever since reaching the star core stage in his flowing stars, Su Poman has gained profound insights from the process of planetary transformation. During this stage, a planetary core formed within his Danshan, dense and blazing with flames. With the influx of the sun's true fire, this core grew larger and larger as it rotated, its surface layered with a rock-like substance. However, despite its apparent rocky appearance, it is composed entirely of stellar energy. Once harnessed, it can be used to cast spells and mobilize the forces of heaven and earth. Once I reach the star stage, the star within my Danshan should be able to nourish my superhuman body. With a constant flow of sunlight within me, my transformation into Silver Superman will undoubtedly accelerate. I will no longer be confined to this stage. Wherever I go, day or night, I will be enhanced by the sunlight at any time. Thinking of this, Su Poman's heart burned with passion, and he devoted himself wholeheartedly to the practice of star transformation. For those cultivating, a month passes in the blink of an eye. When Su Poman opened his eyes again, 9 round planets emitting a pale white glow hovered within his dantian. His cultivation had reached the late planetary stage. Just one more breakthrough after overcoming the star tribulation would lead to the stellar stage. It's time for the much-anticipated lottery. Su Poman rubbed his hands together, sinking his consciousness into the purple source roulette. He then lightly tapped the words click to draw with his mind. 800 energy crystals instantly vanished from the light curtain, transforming into a dazzling beam of light that fell upon the wheel. Click, 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 the ancient, mysterious wheel spun rapidly, and rays of light and shadow representing different abilities flickered across the wheel, constantly evolving and vanishing, constantly changing. Searching for the target, a ray of purple light appeared on the roulette wheel, and the pointer finally landed on a majestic man shrouded in starlight. Behind him, ancient stars were constantly appearing and disappearing, and wisps of translucent green starlight gathered into a long river of starlight surrounding him. The target of this extraction is confirmed to be the purple night world, Ruxing Emperor, Tarot, establishing a link, extracting, spent 800 energy crystals, the extraction was successful, and the complete version of Immortal Star God Body was obtained. People with this physique can absorb the light of the stars in the universe to enhance their own strength, and can use the power of the stars to restore their physical body and soul power, and can control the stars. When they are first formed, they can pick stars and take the moon. When their physique is fully developed, they can form a Hoshin star battle array, giving birth to infinite magical powers, sweeping across the ages, suppressing time and space, and can compete with the God King. As long as the starlight exists, they will be immortal. Purple source roulette, name, Su Poman, realm, early Mahayana, skills, star transformation, bloodline, bronze Superman body, 100%, zombie contract, first generation Pantangu clan bloodline, 100%, ancient Saiyan bloodline, 100%, immortal star god body, 100%, abilities. 1. Bronze Superman template, possessing all the abilities of a Bronze Era Superman, and can cultivate to the silver period on his own. 2. Soul devouring, reverse soul method. 3. Infinite resurrection. 4. Pangu divine body. 5. Soul space. 6. Eye of judgment. 7. 72 transformations. 8. Spirit shadow clone, energy crystals. 6,200, minimum 1 energy crystal can be extracted strengthened once, number that can be extracted strengthened. 0, current extraction target, none. A blue light enveloped Su Poman's body, and traces of extremely cooled energy poured into his body, beginning to transform his body. At this moment, the Superman gene felt as if it had met its superior. Its previous overbearing attitude vanished, and it proactively welcomed the arrival of its new physique. Vast phantoms of stars suddenly materialized, like mirages, appearing beside the sun star. A dazzling radiance filled the sky, an auspicious energy filled the heavens. Chains of order stretched between heaven and earth, as if celebrating this new divine body. At that moment, countless people on Kyong Star raised their heads, cultivators and mortals alike, their faces paling with horror. Day stars had appeared. And these were no ordinary stars. These massive celestial bodies were several times larger than the sun star, swirling with wisps of chaotic energy, as if they were from ancient times. Normally, witnessing a 9-star alignment was a rare spectacle, only seen once in 1,000 years. But on this day, countless giant stars shone brightly in the heavens, their radiant starlight descending, eclipsing even the sun's radiance. People from the mortal world fell to their knees, kowtowed and prayed, believing it was a manifestation of the gods. Most of the cultivators also looked bewildered. The area outside the cultivation star was a restricted area for most cultivators, and low and mid-level cultivators could not even reach it. Some old monsters who had been in seclusion for years, unconcerned with worldly affairs, also walked out of their caves at this time. They stood high in the sky, staring intently at the direction of the sun. A treasure has been unearthed, such a magnificent phenomenon of heaven and earth. Is it a sign from heaven? Is the world of cultivation about to encounter a catastrophe? Those stars don't seem to be real. Are they projections of other star fields? Which star field has such ancient stars? Do you want to go there and take a look? Go ahead if you want to die. Visions are often accompanied by dangers. Such a huge phenomenon, the degree of danger is unpredictable. Chapter 290 Entering the Stellar Period. The vast universe is filled with wonders. The Kyanian realm boasts tens of millions of star types, some of which cannot even be called stars. Their brightness, sometimes bright and sometimes dim, is indiscernible to ordinary humans, yet their star power is transcendental and possesses incredible power. Many terrifying and hopeless situations in the world of immortal cultivation are caused by the strange star power. Even if a cultivator at the level of a Sancson, loose immortal, stumbles upon it, even if they survive, they will be utterly mortally wounded. At that moment, every star-powered star in the Kyanian realm connected with Su Poman's immortal star divine body, leaving its imprints across the entire realm. Wherever the starlight reached, the imprint of his physical form remained. Even if Su Poman lacked the ability to infinite resurrection, he could still be resurrected within the starlight after his death, though it would take slightly longer. Unlike the Superman physique, which can only absorb the energy of the yellow sun to gain supernatural powers, the immortal star divine body is able to draw energy from every star-powered celestial body in the universe, surpassing even Superman's. As the beings of Kaienxing looked up at the sky, surrounded by the shadows of countless stars, Su Poman's body underwent a transformation. Every acupoint in his body began to emit a pale white light, faintly resonating with the various celestial bodies in the Kyanian realm. Strands of starlight, both bright and dim, streamed in. His body, like a black hole, absorbed the star power contained within all the starlight. Boom! At this moment, the 9 planets that had been slowly rotating in his Danshan, as if stimulated by the star power, began to spin rapidly, with a tendency to intensify. The star tribulation descended, and blood-red lightning struck in a crisscross pattern. However, this little damage could not shake Su Poman's body. Soon, the red cloud disappeared, and the star tribulation was easily overcome. Then, a golden light slowly rose from his Danshan. Buzz! A miniature star, ablaze with flames, was born at the point where 9 planets merged, its light growing brighter with the influx of star power. Stellar stage. Meanwhile, Su Poman's superhuman body seemed to sense the changes within, its cells greedily absorbing the energy emanating from the miniature star. His immortal star god body continuously supplied energy to the miniature star, while his superhuman body frantically absorbed the star's radiant solar fire. A subtle, yet unique, circuitry formed between them, and the bronze superhuman body continuously evolved. Within his bloodline, mystical energies flowed in unison, seemingly imbued with the ultimate principles of heaven and earth. The divine kingdom of his soul seemed nourished, constantly expanding and growing. In just a few days, its space had doubled in size. Boom! Within his Danshan, another star, radiating golden light, was born. Superman's body absorbed the sun's true fire at double the rate. Su Poman closed his eyes tightly, feeling as if his soul were soaking in a hot spring. Strange energies surged, bringing him a profoundly refreshing sensation. The countless hidden treasures and millions of acupoints within his body emanated a rainbow of light, and his flesh and blood shone brightly, as if cast from immortal gold. The light throughout the Kyanian realm seemed to dim slightly. Others mistakenly attributed these changes to the weather, but only a few truly powerful, hidden beings vaguely sensed a sense of something strange. Boom boom boom. After several successive booms, 9 golden suns appeared neatly arranged in Su Poman's Danshan. A large portion of the chaotic darkness within his Danshan dissipated, revealing a vision of cosmic emptiness. At this moment, Su Poman paused his training and slowly opened his eyes. Swish! 2 rays of divine light shot out from the depths of his eyes, transforming into 2 rainbow-colored rays that shot into the depths of the starry sky. At this moment, he felt his superhuman body strengthening at an incredible rate. Its strength increased like a rocket, growing stronger with every passing moment. Now, with his physical strength alone, he could easily slay a 4th tribulation loose immortal. A wisp of silver light began to gather from the depths of his eyes, as if a strange omen. Su Poman had a vague feeling that in this state, reaching the silver superhuman stage seemed not so far-fetched. He estimated that with the 9 suns within his body constantly supplying him with true solar fire, it would only take 100 years to reach the silver superhuman stage. Silver superhuman. That level represents the pinnacle of this type of superhuman physique, possessing a variety of miraculous abilities, rivaling the power of immortals and gods. If Su Poman completed his advancement and then spent some time completing the transformation into an immortal infant, he would become a powerful figure once he ascended to the immortal realm. At this point, the practice of star transformation could be put on hold. While this technique allowed for rapid advancement with the immortal star body, it took a long time to achieve perfection, resulting in a modest improvement in combat power. He planned to remain at the star stage for 100 years, then return to this technique after reaching the silver superhuman stage. After all, it would take thousands of years for the primordial spirit to fully transform into an immortal infant. For a Mahayana cultivator, this 100 years was a fleeting moment. The strange phenomenon in the starry sky slowly faded, and the great cultivators on Kaingsing who had witnessed it became increasingly interested, tearing through the void and fleeing towards the sun star. Su Poman, perceiving something, shook his head slightly. "You're just too curious." With that, he took a step forward and vanished instantly, emerging in a world composed entirely of fire. This was the core of the sun star, where the sun's true fire was most abundant and also where the temperature was highest. "I've been practicing for so long, it's time for a good night's sleep." Su Poman leaned back, and the blazing flames behind him instantly formed a flaming recliner. He lay there, carefree and unrefined in his white dragon shorts, and fell into deep sleep the moment he closed his eyes. Meanwhile, beyond the sun star, powerful cultivators appeared one after another. After searching the surrounding void in vain, they departed one by one. They had interpreted the strange phenomenon in the sky as a mirage, not delving into it further. At this moment, the war between the demons and monsters reached a fever pitch. Countless cultivators perished, forming a vast starry battlefield at the border between the two races. Shattered planets, shattered fragments of ancient and magical treasures, and lifeless corpses slowly piled up like a combination of a garbage dump and a mass grave. Within this chaos lay opportunities, but also deadly dangers. Treasure hunting teams composed of mid-level cultivators also emerged, risking their lives to sweep these starry battlefields in search of treasures or inheritances left behind by powerful cultivators. During this period, in the world of cultivation, there were countless reports of people soaring to the sky after obtaining a fragment of an immortal weapon. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 291 Starry Sky Battlefield. Ancient treasures, fragments of immortal artifacts, inheritances, and even the flesh and blood of demonic corpses are enough to attract many desperate individuals. Furthermore, the popularity of this type of exploration has greatly boosted the development of spirit boats within the cultivation world. Several low-profile versions have been released, capable of allowing mid- and low-level cultivators to traverse the strangled winds and explore the starry sky, offering every cultivator the opportunity to make a small investment and achieve great success. This is a major trend of the times, inspiring cultivators from every star region to aspire to interstellar exploration. At this moment, on a desolate beach, when a person dies, birds fly to the sky. Immortality lasts for eons. What's there to fear? I want to explore the outer worlds. A capable young cultivator with short hair steered a sky-class spirit boat high into the sky, quickly breaking through the strangled winds and reaching the vast sea of stars. In the Chaos Star region, outside a vast city shrouded in darkness, a streak of light streaked across the sky, bringing with it a rumbling thunder. The lightning flash was particularly striking in the darkness. The young man's face was gloomy. A long scar stretched from his brow to his jaw, resembling a ferocious centipede coiled across it, completely shattering any trace of his youthful elegance. He looked like a lone wolf trapped in a desperate situation. His eyes flickered as he glanced at the enemy sprinting after him. Finally, with a firm resolve, he slowly raised his head to the sky and muttered to himself, "If I survive, I will destroy the Halangsing Lion clan upon my return." With that, he moved his fingers, forming a strange hand seal. Then, with a wow, he vomited a large mouthful of blood. In an instant, his face turned pale, his aura plummeting, as if he were weakened. A blood-red rune pulsed and shifted erratically. "Jin Mu, you can't escape." A tremendous spiritual pressure descended, and a massive, cyan-colored hand, formed entirely from the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, reached out to grab him. "How?" Jin Mu sneered, then coughed twice and pinched a blood-red rune with his fingers. Buzz! A red light enveloped him, instantly tearing through space and fading into nothingness. Similar scenes played out across the Kyanigan realm. Whether it was the aging elderly, the reviled cultivators universally condemned, or those bearing deep blood feuds, they now viewed the Starry Sky battlefield as their only escape route. As a result, the Starry Sky battlefield became turbulent, a hive of mixed fortunes. After an unknown amount of time, Su Poman opened his eyes, feeling a profound clarity of mind. With a subtle movement of his mind, he entered the world within the tower, stored within the Soul Kingdom. Surrounded by verdant mountains and clear waters, the occasional white crane soared past. Nourished by spiritual energy, the vegetation flourished luxuriantly, and the flowers bloomed in profusion, reminiscent of an immortal realm. Yang Hong was obsessed with the art of refining weapons and swordsmanship, diligently studying jade slips all day long. When inspiration struck, he would head to the refining room to experiment, his days filled with fulfillment. Nai Rongchuan, Kong Qi, and the others became close friends, often gathering together to study their techniques and secrets. Whenever they encountered difficulties, they would consult General Zhao. Although Zhao Yuanjing had achieved enlightenment in a different way, his level of sophistication was evident, allowing him to offer guidance as easily as a college student examining kindergarten homework. Thus, he became both a mentor and a friend to these individuals. Kabir and Ruzhu, bored to death, left the courtyard together to explore the mountains and rivers. Su Poman, fresh from his arrival in this world, had already ascertained everyone's situation. With a faint smile, he instantly arrived above a clear pool of water. This rock pool sat atop a snowy mountain, but due to the terrain, warm springs constantly gushed from its depths. A steamy mist shrouded the surface, resembling a sauna. Two pale figures frolicked in the pool, their captivating curves appearing and disappearing between the mist and the water. Kabir, tall, with skin as white as cream and long, round legs, a white ribbon tied mid-thigh, emerged from the water trickling down her upper body, creating a seductive image of a bathing beauty. Nearby, Ruzu lay on her back, her headlights glaring at her appearance, making Su Poman dizzy. Her slender waist formed a stark contrast to the upper body. Then, descending, Su Poman felt a surge of warmth, and his white dragon robe instantly vanished, revealing himself underwater. Looking up, two white, tender fish were swaying wildly. Sister Gadir, this place is so comfortable. It's such a pleasure to come here every day and soak in it. Yes, otherwise, chasing that purple arc, I wouldn't have found this place. If only the young master were here, the three of us could soak in the hot springs together. Little girl, you can't stop talking about the young master. I think you're itching to be punished again, aren't you? No way, you're saying no, but the water down there is murky. Sister Gadir, you're so annoying. As the two women were playing around, a pair of sinister hands grabbed them. After a refreshing swim with the two women, Su Poman left the place refreshed. Sunstar. Su Poman slowly emerged from it, the huge sun behind him making him look incredibly small. However, deep in his crimson pupils, a silvery glint shone, making even the sun pale in comparison. The silver light quickly vanished, and Su Poman's gaze traversed the galaxy, gazing into the infinite distance. There aren't many threats left in the Kyanigan realm. It's nice to explore a bit. He raised his hand, and a 3-meter-tall spatial portal suddenly appeared before him. The portal was magnificent, its border entwined with purple patterns that exuded a special aura, and its center was a black vortex. Stepping inside, Su Poman quickly locked onto a location with his spiritual sense, then swiftly traversed the void, his surroundings darting by like a kaleidoscope, a distorted starry sky. In a few breaths, he entered a completely unfamiliar star region. This place was already far from the Litaguan star region, but now very close to the demon battlefield. The surrounding starry sky was filled with debris, with a chaotic pile of science-skinned demonic bodies, and round spheres of multicolored blood dotted the entire sky. Although there was no perceptible odor, the mere sight evoked a sense of blood and tragedy. Buzz buzz buzz. Giant blood-colored mosquitoes rose from the wreckage, their mouths long and pointed, their bodies covered in black fur. The smallest were the size of a buffalo. These were alien space beasts known as blood mosquito beasts. They possessed no demonic aura, yet possessed terrifying bloodline power. The demon war had benefited this population, rapidly multiplying and now a major threat to the interstellar battlefield. These alien space beasts lacked intelligence, acting solely on instinct, attacking anyone who approached or posed a threat, a source of great concern for many expeditionary teams. Chapter 292, The Evil Suppressor. After Su Poman appeared, the ferocious and aggressive blood mosquitoes, as if encountering their natural enemy, folded their wings and swiftly dived into the pile of corpses. Exotic beasts that feed on blood are particularly sensitive to bloodline power. To these blood mosquitoes, Su Poman's bloodline power shone like hundreds of blazing suns, seemingly needing only a trace of residual power to crush them into dust. They knew that a creature of this level could easily annihilate their entire race. Just then, a high-level spirit boat sailed in from the depths of the starry sky, its target squarely on the battlefield where Su Poman was. Inside the spirit boat, Lord Alondo, the battlefield ahead has yet to be excavated. With the ancient artifact that can counter the blood mosquito beasts, we are sure to return with a bountiful harvest. A bold monk with a square of gold plaque affixed to his head knelt on the ground and said respectfully. Before him sat a pale-faced man in black armor. His skin was as dry as a withered poplar tree. A blue crystal nestled between his brows, giving him an eerie aura. He nodded gently, then stood by the window, silently observing the scene outside. Suddenly, his brows raised, his gaze sweeping towards the depths of the starry sky. Standing there was a handsome man in a robe painted with a white dragon pattern. Wherever he passed, the blood mosquito beasts shivered like ants on the garbage heap. The chubby monk with a golden cap also followed a black-armored man's gaze and saw the scene over there. His mouth dropped open subconsciously, his eyes filled with disbelief. How is this possible? We went to great lengths to acquire that ancient artifact that tames the blood mosquito beasts from the far frontier auction house. Who on earth is this person, capable of single-handedly suppressing all the blood mosquito beasts? Another tall, thin monk in brocade robes asked solemnly. The black-armored man narrowed his eyes, a cold smile playing on his lips. He must possess a treasure even more powerful than the blood coagulation mirror. Daring to come here alone, how audacious. He's so reckless. He's courting death, he's in the early Mahayana stage, and his strength is respectable. But for us, the Black Desert Adventure Group, he's just a more valuable prey. It's his bad luck. A short, stout old man, holding a snake staff, emerged from the cabin. He exuded an incredibly powerful aura, unmistakable like a mid-stage Mahayana cultivator. Soon, two more First Tribulation loose immortals emerged. The spirit boat activated its cloaking formation, slipping into the air and stealthily approaching Su Poman. On the deck, some quietly chanted incantations, preparing to cast powerful spells. Others channeled mana into their ancient treasures. Still others prepared golden talismans. Once the spirit boat reappeared from the void, they would slay their prey with thunderous force. The Black Desert Adventure Group had conducted hunts like this countless times, their coordination seamless. Once they'd chosen their target, they'd never miss. After passing through a layer of flocculent nebula, Su Poman's lips curled into a faint smile. He'd already noticed the spirit boat, even with its cloaking formation, it couldn't hide from his divine sense. It seems the human realm isn't full of demon-suppressing emissaries. There's even murder and treasure-stealing going on. Most of Su Poman's clones were on the front lines of the demon war, less intimidating the human realm. The recent rise of adventure groups has brought out the dark side of many. A man can't get rich without unexpected fortune, and a horse can't grow fat without overnight grass. Adventures in the starry sky battlefield are nothing compared to killing and stealing treasure. Slaying a fat sheep is all it takes to easily secure opportunities that others only venture into at great risk. While the starry sky battlefield is teeming with opportunities, it's also rife with danger. Furthermore, if the current situation continues, the greatest danger in the starry sky battlefield won't come from the exotic beasts or the spells left in time by fallen masters, but from other adventurers. Such thieving behavior deserves death. Su Poman bared his gleaming white teeth, whirled around, and unleashed a fierce punch at the deserted area behind him. Buzz! Hurricane-like ripples converged, and the mountain of garbage exploded, disintegrating into a hail of flying debris. Space, like fragile paper, was easily pierced by the fist. A layer of white energy appeared on the fist, growing ever larger. Roar! A white dragon emerged from the fist's energy and swooped down through the void towards the high-level spirit boat. The spirit boat was moving steadily through the void when a massive dragon head, radiating white light, suddenly appeared in front of it. What's that? The spirit snake clinging to the short and fat old man's staff seemed startled. Its once limp body suddenly stiffened, and it fell straight from the staff to the deck. Snap! As the spirit snake landed, the massive white dragon had collided with the spirit boat's defensive formation. Puff! The protective shield, capable of withstanding the full force of a Mahayana cultivator, blocked even a breath of power. The next moment, a blinding light erupted from the void. Everyone on the spirit boat had no time to react. Only the cultivator known as Alando seemed to have sensed something and transformed into a faint ray of light, arriving at the rear of the spirit boat. However, Alando did not escape unscathed. Under the devastating force of the fist, his body was severely wounded, his black armor shattered into shreds. He looked utterly miserable, like a discarded rag doll. His limbs, pale as poplar bark, were bent into strange arcs, and blood, mixed with fragments of internal organs, continuously oozed from his mouth. A normal person would have died from such injuries. Although his aura had plummeted, such injuries were not fatal for a cultivator. For the first time, panic crossed Alando's usually calm face. He glanced in horror at the spot where the spirit boat had been, and without hesitation, he executed his escape technique. Want to run? At this moment, a voice, eerily, entered his mind. Turning, he saw a handsome young man in a white dragon pattern robe, smiling at him. The smile seemed warm and friendly, yet Alando felt a chill deep within him. At that moment, he smelled the scent of death. "Senior, please spare me a moment." Before he could finish his words, two beams of red light shot out, instantly piercing his head and piercing his soul. A wicked cultivator has infiltrated a human adventuring group. It seems these evil cultivators are quite restless lately. Su Poman shattered the spatial barrier and returned to the starry sky. With a single thought, his spirit clones instantly emanated from his body. The spiritual energy of the starry battlefield surged in, transforming treasures into common items, and the spirit clones solidified. Soon, millions of clones had condensed, forming a dense forest across the starry sky. It seems like a large number, but once they are scattered across the various star fields of the Kyanigan realm, they are just a drop in the ocean. Go, this time, you are all evil suppressing messengers. As soon as the words fell, the attire of the shadow clones began to change, and they turned into white-robed monks wearing conical hats, and then disappeared directly on the spot. Chapter 293 Magic. It's calling me. Whenever Su Poman arrived at a battlefield, an invisible force field emanated from his surroundings, drawing in spiritual beings and transforming them into energy points. While his efficiency wasn't as great as that of his millions of spiritual clones, he could devour the lingering souls on the battlefield. Occasionally, he'd encounter a soul-devouring beast, which would feast upon the soul-devouring power within his primordial spirit. Countless cultivators had perished on the astral battlefield, but only a few had their spirits intact. Most cultivators' souls were shattered, their remnants entangled with their spirits, forming another extremely dangerous monster on this battlefield, the soul-devouring beast. Because of this, the location of the battlefields of the demonic wars constantly shifted. To powerful cultivators, these soul-devouring beasts posed no threat, but to cultivators below the Mahayana stage, they were a profoundly dangerous presence, their lives in jeopardy if they weren't careful. Soul-devouring beasts take on a myriad of forms, some resembling domestic animals, others wild beasts, and still others birds of prey. They are capable of directly attacking a cultivator's soul, then devouring their spirit after defeating them. This strange ability is incredibly difficult to defend against. Without soul-defending treasures, even less advanced cultivators dare not enter areas saturated with a deathly aura. Most problematically, these soul-devouring beasts are impossible to completely slay. Even a wandering immortal can only temporarily disperse them. After a while, they will reunite and fuse into a new soul-devouring beast. Such inexhaustible creatures are so unstoppable that even the demons and monsters, the dominant powers of the Kyanigan realm, are unwilling to waste their efforts on them. Wherever one looks, wisps of gray-black air drift, carrying a thick aura of resentment and death, mingled with a faint wisp of soul power. Su Poman, the soul devourer, sat within the immortal infant, his eyes gleaming with purple light. The surrounding soul energy poured into it like water drawn into a whirlpool, his spirit growing stronger in the process. Furthermore, he discovered that as his spirit strengthened, the speed at which his primordial spirit transformed into the immortal infant also accelerated. This fueled Su Poman's energization. He resembled a vast black hole, leaving no blade of grass in his path. The filthy, chaotic battlefield was rapidly cleared. The cultivators who had been exploring the area were frightened by the noise, believing some terrifying entity was devouring everything. They fled the area and spread the news. Su Poman paid no heed. He moved swiftly across the battlefield, harvesting spiritual objects and soul energy like a whirlwind. Cultivators capable of fighting in the starry sky possessed high cultivation levels, and therefore, the vast majority of the items they wielded contained spiritual energy. Even a scrap of cloth could be transformed into energy points by the purple source wheel. At this point, his bio-force field encompassed an immensely vast area. Many unsuspecting cultivators, painstakingly digging for something one moment, found themselves devastated the next, their gaze emptied. This distressed many of the adventurous cultivators, nearly vomiting blood. Tianlingzi's phantom silently observed all this, a thoughtful expression on his face. He felt as if he had a clue. But upon closer examination, he remained baffled. What kind of magical power could decompose so many different types of matter? It's as if everything is returning to chaos. Could this child be the legendary destroyer who initiated the great cycle of heaven and earth, and that astral phenomenon that appeared on him earlier, even in the immortal realm? Such a physique is rarely seen. This kid must be hiding some great secret. Tianlingzi pursed his lips tightly as he hovered beside Su Poman, silently following him. His presence was invisible to others, except to Su Poman, the master of the heavenly treasure pagoda. Old Yan, is there something on your mind? Su Poman asked casually. Tianlingzi shook his head and said slowly, it's all right. I was just thinking about something else. Boy, are you planning on sweeping the battlefield like this? While this soul power can strengthen your spirit, it's too complex. If you absorb it directly, wouldn't there be any hidden dangers? Don't worry, Cheyenne Leo. My spirit is special. It won't affect me, Su Poman explained. Time flew by, and a month passed as Su Poman swept across the battlefield. One day, Su Poman sat cross-legged on the highest mountain of a gray-white planet and slowly opened his eyes. The gravity here was terrifying, dozens of times greater than that of Kaingsing. If a mortal entered here, they would be crushed into the bloody mud in an instant. It's time for the lottery again. A brilliant light flashed in Su Poman's eyes, and an unconscious smile played on his lips. Although he had drawn the power of the purple source roulette many times, it seemed to have an inexplicable magic. Every time the lottery came, his heart would surge with excitement. My biggest weakness right now is my offensive capabilities. While the spells passed down by the Immortal Emperor are incredibly powerful, each technique requires a certain level of cultivation to perform. The abilities a Mahayana cultivator can unleash are barely enough to rival a Four Tribulations loose immortal. Compared to my defensive capabilities, they're still a bit lacking, so, this time, let's draw bonus attack ability. Su Poman slowly closed his eyes, completely immersing himself in the purple source roulette. Watching the ever-increasing amount of energy crystals on the screen, he felt a deep sense of peace. It was like the world's richest man looking at the balance in his bank account, just a series of numbers. Dull, tedious, and endlessly spendable. He tapped the words click to draw with his mind, and buzz. 600 energy crystals instantly vanished from the screen, transforming into a dazzling beam of light that fell upon the roulette wheel. Click, 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 the ancient and mysterious wheel spun rapidly, and rays of light and shadow representing different abilities flickered across the wheel, constantly evolving and disappearing, constantly changing. Searching for target, a purple light appeared on the wheel, and the needle finally landed on a short dwarf wearing a dark purple wizard's robe. His face was shrouded in darkness, only his eyes shone with a golden hue, as if imbued with a mysterious magical energy. A purple-black claw, as if cast from steel, held a ball of dark energy, and the other claw grasped a short-handled magic wand. The target of this extraction is confirmed to be the Alliance world, the evil little mage, Vigor, establishing a link, extraction and progressing. Spend 600 energy crystals, extraction successful, obtain all the abilities of the evil little mage Vigor. Even death will tremble because of my appearance. Are you praying again? I smell the breath of death. An evil voice came directly into Su Poman's mind, like a dream talk, and as if hidden in the deep darkness. Chapter 294 Passive Extraordinary Evil Power. Supernatural Power, Passive Ability. Vigor is the most powerful demon, capable of attacking even the heart of Runeterra, and he only grows stronger. Killing an enemy with a skill or spell grants one stack of supernatural power. Each stack of supernatural power permanently increases Vigor's damage bonus by 1. Dark Priest, active ability, unleashes a beam of dark energy, dealing magic damage based on Vigor's level to the first 2 enemies hit. Dark Matter, active ability, draws a stream of dark matter from the void, dealing area of effect damage to the target. Warp Space, Active ability, creates a special cage that severs special connections, trapping enemies within, preventing them from escaping by teleporting and limiting them to a limited range. Energy burst, active ability, detonates a target with source magic within a certain range. This skill locks onto the target and cannot be dodged. Damage is determined by your level and the number of supernatural power stacks. Purple source roulette, name, Su Poman, realm, early Mahayana stage, skill, star transformation, bloodline, bronze Superman body, 100%, zombie contract, first generation Pantangu clan bloodline, 100%, ancient Saiyan bloodline, 100%, immortal star god body, 100%, abilities. 1. Bronze Superman template, possessing all the abilities of a Bronze Age Superman, and can cultivate to the Silver Age on his own. 2. Soul devouring, reverse soul method. 3. Infinite resurrection. 4. Pangu god body. 5. Soul space. 6. Eye of judgment. 7. 72 transformations. 8. Spirit shadow clone. 9. Vega template, possessing all the abilities of an evil little mage, current number of extraordinary evil layers. 0. Energy crystal, minimum 1 energy crystal can be extracted enhanced once, quantity that can be extracted enhanced. 0. Current extraction target, none. A sense of magic emerged in Su Poman's mind, and at the same time, dark purple energy began to converge from the void. He felt a sense of something, and suddenly extended a finger and pointed at a lifeless, ochre-colored satellite not far away. As a strange feeling washed over him, a purple-black sphere of energy, hundreds of thousands of feet across, suddenly emerged from the void and plummeted down onto the ochre-colored satellite at an incredible speed. Boom! The force was greater than a meteor strike. Under the bombardment of purple-black energy, a satellite, barely smaller than the moon, instantly disintegrated in the starry sky. The Earth's crust, like an eggshell, dented inward before being instantly shattered into a cloud of interstellar dust. It was as if someone had thrown a box of colored chalk dust into the starry sky, and under the illumination of the various stars, a vast, beautiful nebula formed. A growing attack skill with no upper limit. Great, Su Poman exclaimed inwardly. Simultaneously, across the Kyanidin realm, the methods of the demon suppressors suddenly changed. Balls of dark purple energy appeared from their hands, and a chilling aura of terror suddenly filled the battlefield. Soon, Su Poman observed from the light screen of the purple source wheel that his levels of transcendental evil energy were rapidly soaring 10 levels, 20 levels, 50 levels. As time passed, his attack power slowly increased. Initially, due to the large base, the increase was subtle, but after surpassing 999 levels of transcendental evil energy, a qualitative change occurred. Enemies that previously required the self-detonation of clones could now be instantly melted by the simultaneous release of dozens of energy explosions. This made dealing with those with lower cultivation levels even easier, as the dark matter could cover the entire battlefield. Each demon suppressor or demon suppressor, with a hexagram-shaped eye of judgment in their eyes, began to unleash their might on the battlefield, frantically slaughtering cultivators from both the demon and monster races. In the past, the demon-suppressing envoy had always disdained to attack cultivators of lower cultivation, but today, he seemed to be going crazy, destroying warship after warship and killing countless low-level cultivators. The emergence of these two factions was already rather bizarre, and now they were using the same methods to eliminate their opponents, and this, coupled with an extremely sinister aura, undoubtedly aroused the vigilance of the upper echelons of both demon clans. Anyone with a discerning eye could now see that both the demon-suppressing envoy and the demon-suppressing envoy were from the same faction. In fact, many had previously doubted this, given that the two had never attacked each other and both wore ghostly masks. Now, even the attack methods were identical, a truly unfounded threat. After some communication, the two sides decided to suspend the fighting and clarify the origins of this faction. Otherwise, if the stalemate continued, someone would surely profit. Moreover, their losses were already heavy. Though the fighting was brief, it was widespread, decimating the entire star system. Countless experts had already perished across the star regions, leaving the entire system severely damaged. Further fighting would serve no purpose, only further casualties. Whether the first cultivator of Blue Star was actually a demon or not no longer mattered. Meanwhile, mercenary missions were terminated. Demon-suppressing envoys no longer received any reward for killing demon cultivators, and the same applied to demon-suppressing envoys. However, the slaughter did not cease. Across the starry battlefield, envoys wearing ghostly masks, like the Grim Reaper, stormed the camps of both clans, claiming countless lives. Meanwhile, on a blue and red planet, the demon Ancestor Zombie, with his lush green hair, crimson eyes, and purple lips, tapped his armrest with a ferocious, thick index finger, listening grimly to his subordinates' reports. So these demon-suppressing envoys are actually in cahoots with the demon-suppressing envoys who killed my people. The blood-skinned demon, resembling a biochemical tyrant, was now sweating profusely. His voice trembled slightly as he replied, "Master Demon Ancestor, according to reports from the front lines, the demon-suppressing envoys and demon-suppressing envoys possess identical spells. They're clearly from the same faction, useless. A bunch of useless people, who on Earth proposed hiring them to fight the demons? My demons are actually letting other forces reap the benefits." With a furious roar, the entire hall shook 3 times, as if it were about to collapse. The guards at the door, hearing the voice from within, shrank back instinctively with fear in their eyes. "Master Demon Ancestor, he's about to get angry. Looks like many more people will die." A similar scene unfolded within the demon's territory. For a moment, the demon-suppressing envoys and demon-suppressing envoys became public enemies of both clans. The armies of cultivators, previously at war with each other, began to attack Su Poman's clone. The army of tens of thousands of cultivators, using formations to condense their magical powers, unleashed a formidable force. In an instant, Su Poman sensed several clones falling in the overwhelming torrent of magic. Furthermore, the endless stream of exotic treasures and powerful talismans put the Spirit Shadow clone at a disadvantage initially. Chapter 295 8 Tribulations Scatter Demons. However, Su Poman quickly adjusted his strategy. Utilizing his magical power, 72 transformations, he transformed his Spirit Shadow clones into the forms of demons or monsters, disintegrating them into the armies of both tribes and attacking them from within. This created a mutual alarm and prevented them from unleashing their full combat power. This made it impossible for the demons and monsters to completely exterminate the Spirit Shadow clones. Furthermore, as long as Su Poman survived, he could create countless clones daily. As his supernatural power accumulated, the power of these clones' attacks soared to a staggering level. Despite their vast numbers and abundant resources, the demon and monster cultivator armies were now experiencing signs of retreat. Some cultivators, unable to withstand the immense pressure, withdrew from the battlefield. Seeing the situation worsening, the leaders of both tribes became restless. Veterans who had cultivated for many years were called forth, hoping to quell the unrest with their profound cultivation. From the boundless starry sky, a massive flaming lotus of demonic flames suddenly descended upon the center of the battlefield. In an instant, tiny flashes of fire scorched the air into a void. All cultivators below the third tribulation loose demon realm perished, even the mingled demon-suppressing envoys. From the darkness, a towering figure slowly descended. His skin burned like molten lava, and behind him rose arcs of flame. With 3 eyes and 6 arms, he resembled a god. Cultivators across the star region felt fear and awe. The aura he exuded was so potent, it seemed he had reached the 7th tribulation loose demon realm. His rock-red complexion resembled the evil deity enshrined in a temple. From his third eye, wisps of light shone, scanning the battlefield. What faction could this group of cultivators belong to? Such a vast number, and yet every one of them is at the Mahayana stage, the demon fire venerable muttered to himself. With a wave of his hand, the tiny glimmers of fire from the battlefield quickly flew back upon him, burrowing beneath his burning skin like scales. Soon, another wave of pale green demonic energy descended, overwhelming the heavens. Its terrifying demonic power surpassed spiritual strength, rivaling the immortal energy of a wandering immortal. A vast expanse of starfields was suffused by these waves of demonic energy, as if a peerless demon had descended. In the world of cultivation, a demon cultivator capable of roaming across a large region on a planet is considered a great demon, while a wandering demon-level being typically reigns supreme, revered by the demons as a demon king. This demon cultivator, engulfing most of the starfield, was no ordinary wandering demon. He could be called a demon emperor. A sound like heavy breathing echoed, and as planets shattered, a pitch-black behemoth suddenly emerged from space. Atop it stood a cold, green-browed youth. He appeared harmless, but the pale green demonic energy surrounding him emanated from him. The demon fire venerable frowned and snorted softly. "You're quite impressive, but I wonder if your fur has fully grown. Do you want to fight?" A gravelly, hoarse voice emanated from the green-browed youth. A voice that was incredibly old and unpleasant to the ear. A cold look flashed in the youth's eyes, as if he would kill at the slightest displeasure. The murderous intent in his brows was unmistakable. Hell, if it weren't for the Demon Venerable's order, I'd like to play with you. The Demon Fire Venerable, having survived countless years, naturally wasn't frightened by such murderous intent. He replied bluntly. The green-browed youth's face frosted, but he seemed wary. After a moment's hesitation, he didn't strike. Instead, he swept out with his spiritual sense, a wave of demonic energy radiating outward, shattering a series of planets. Hey, who on earth has angered the 7th Demon Emperor? I haven't seen him this angry in ages. I pity so many stars. An utterly enchanting voice descended, accompanied by a captivating fragrance. Every cultivator present was transfixed, fascinated, as if caught in an endless illusion. The shadows of 9 fluffy foxtails, lifting round, silvery moons, approached from afar. At the center of the tails was a woman of utter seduction. She wore a long, pink dress slit to the waist, revealing a shimmering white light and shadow as she moved. Beneath her high bun was a breathtakingly beautiful face. Every glance and smile carried a captivating charm. Countless male cultivators on the battlefield were captivated, as if they were puppets at the mercy of others. The Demon Fire Venerable remained composed. At his level, his Taoist heart was unwavering, and he would not be easily swayed by such low-level temptations. Little Jaywar, are you trying to provoke me into disobeying the orders of the demon ancestor? The green-browed boy raised an eyebrow, as if he'd already seen through her little trick. The pink-skirted fox girl blushed, seeming genuinely shy, and pressed closer. 7th brother is truly clever. He's so quick to guess what's on my mind. I just want to see the 7th master unleash his might. Go away. I won't fall for that. The green-browed boy frowned, waving his sleeves as if to shoo away a fly. Suddenly, a purple figure appeared between them. Ha! What a fool you are. You know how to be gentle with women. The girl, with twin horns and delicate features, teased the green-browed boy with a smile. Her purple leather bodysuit hugged her figure to perfection, and her long, white, soft legs seemed to radiate light, drawing everyone's attention. The Devil Fire Venerable's eye twitched suddenly, and he thought to himself, why did the Demon Lord send her here? A faint red glint flashed in the depths of the green-browed youth's pupils, and then he reacted, his face tense. He stared at the witch before him with a stern gaze, and took several steps back. The 8 Tribulation's loose demons have really gone all out this time. I'll lead this operation. Is that okay with you? The purple-robed witch said calmly, her gaze sweeping over the 3 faces. The pink-skirted fox girl waved her fist and was the first to speak in support. With this beautiful sister in command, we'll definitely wipe out those evil silvers. She knew full well that a loose demon who had survived 8 thunder tribulations must be incredibly powerful, and it was highly likely that they wouldn't survive the 9th. Therefore, she had fewer concerns, and it was perfectly natural for her to act madly. Throughout the long history of the Kyanigan realm, there have been countless instances of immortal-level cultivators, knowing they couldn't survive the tribulation and extend their lives, abandoning their karmic burdens in a final, brutal slaughter. Sparing even their kin and friends, a truly utterly ruthless act. Some immortals, unwilling to accept their fate, experiment with countless forbidden techniques and bloody secret methods, slaughtering cultivators and mortals in an effort to elevate themselves, hoping to increase their chances of successfully surviving the tribulation. A 7 tribulation demon, if well prepared, might still have a chance of surviving another life, but the purple-robed witch before them was highly unlikely to survive the next tribulation. Even the Demon King felt a tingle at the thought of such a being. That's fine with me, the green-browed youth said calmly. Very good, the purple-robed witch's lips curled up, a strange smile spreading across her face. I speculate that these demon-suppressing envoys and monster-suppressing envoys are clones created by a powerful, secret clone technique. If we can find the person behind this and extract the secret technique, we won't have to worry about the next tribulation. Chapter 296 Star Acupoint. What? A secret technique for creating clones? How is that even possible? What secret technique could create such powerful clones, and so many of them? The pink-skirted fox girl covered her lips, her almond-shaped eyes wide with astonishment. The green-browed youth's expression was equally disturbed, a deep look of surprise etched in his deep eyes. The Demon Fire Venerable frowned, pondering, if that's the case, then the originals of those clones are probably not to be trifled with either. Enough of the nonsense. Whether you believe it or not, you must obey my orders. Let's go. Cleanse these clones first, and their originals will naturally be forced out. The Sky Shad Demon's expression suddenly turned cold, and she spoke impatiently. With that, she transformed into a shadow and sped away. The starry sky, like a canvas splashed with ink, first sprouted long vines, and then, from each vine, purple mandala flowers. The Dratira flowers were lush and beautiful, enveloping the entire star region in a profusion of blossoms. Layers of branches, leaves, and blossoms clustered together, winding their way into space. Beneath this enchanting scene, an invisible danger lurked. Under the awe-inspiring spectacle, countless cultivators crisscrossing the battlefield paused in unison, their gazes raised towards the starry sky. The beautiful purple Dratira spread with a seemingly slow, yet in reality lightning-fast, speed. Initially, the cultivators didn't notice anything amiss. But as distant demonic cultivators and monsters were engulfed by the flowers, turning into a cloud of pulverized dust, a bone-chilling chill washed over them. My life, a sharp-eyed cultivator was the first to react. Without a word, he unleashed the most depleting escape technique, employing the most energy-draining technique, recklessly scattering his treasures. The others quickly reacted, their expressions drastically altered, and they each deployed their magical powers in a desperate escape. A cruel smile played across the purple-robed witch's lips, and she snorted softly, her expression filled with a disregard for life that transcended all living things. Watching the demon cultivators falling one after another, the pink-skirted fox woman opened her mouth, but seeing the green-browed youth shake his head slightly at her, she ultimately remained silent. This Shyansha woman's murderous nature is growing stronger. The demon fire venerable frowned slightly, a sense of dread building within him. Amidst the dense, vibrant purple blossoms, not only cultivators from the two clans but also Su Poman's spiritual clones were falling continuously, at a staggering rate. As soon as Su Poman sensed something, he was shocked to discover that 8 out of 10 of his clones stationed in that area had perished in just a few breaths. Who on earth could possess such power? At this moment, Tianlingzi slowly emerged before him. With a gentle wave of his hand, a mirror-like object appeared before him, revealing the silhouettes of the purple-robed witch and 4 others. Su kid, you've finally met your match this time. That purple-clothed woman is an 8 tribulation loose immortal. Her combat power is comparable to that of an immortal. She has already comprehended a small part of the laws. The one next to her is also a 7 tribulation loose immortal. Her combat power is also quite good. You shouldn't be able to kill them with just your clones. At that level, it's already difficult to win by sheer numbers, Tianlingzi said with some gloating, as if he really wanted to see Su Poman suffer a setback. Su Poman nodded and said, the strength of these cultivators is indeed formidable. It seems that it will be difficult to flatten the 2 races of demons and monsters. Flatten the 2 races? Are you kidding? Tianlingzi held his forehead with his hand, looking very tired. He smacked his lips and really didn't want to say anything more. Seeing this, Su Poman felt a little confused. With my current strength, I have no rivals in the world of cultivation. If I want to eliminate the demons and evil cultivators, can't I do it? What's more, my strength is improving every day. At the current rate, I will be completely invincible in less than 100 years. You are still young. Do you think the demons in the upper realm will sit back and watch you destroy their foundation? Tianlingzi asked lightly, stroking his beard on his chin. Su Poman was stunned and said, can the demons in the upper realm come to the Kyanigan realm? Tianlingzi nodded, looked up at the sky, his clear eyes filled with an inexplicable meaning, and said, when the foundation of the lower realm is threatened, they will find a way to come to the lower realm, but the price will be a little higher. In this case, if you want to wipe out these demons, you must at least have immortal level combat power. Su Poman pinched his chin and thought. Tianlingzi nodded slightly and advised again, Su kid, everything has a balance. Having only humans left in the Kyanigan realm isn't necessarily a good thing. Soon. What do you mean soon? My combat power won't be long before I reach the immortal level. Su Poman didn't respond to Tianlingzi's question, but silently analyzed the situation. Although the attack power of my clones has increased significantly, it's somewhat weak against this kind of immortal technique that involves the laws. Also, the range of time stop is too small. I can't even reach those people before I die. Moreover, even if I use it, I may not be able to control them. It seems I need to strengthen this ability later. Time stop is a special ability awakened by the Pangu bloodline. I guess strengthening this bloodline will indirectly enhance its power. Su Poman gazed into the vast void. The celestial energy of the universe continuously flowed into his body, and his physical body was constantly improving. At the same time, with a continuous destruction of numerous clones, his resistance to the laws gradually became apparent. Gradually, the newly emerged clones, no longer vulnerable to the effects of the laws and immortal arts, lived longer and longer. One day, Su Poman sat cross-legged on a silver planet when a celestial acute point in his heart suddenly erupted with a breathtaking light, like a high-powered exposure lamp within his flesh. His blood flowed like mercury, his bones like immortal jade, and his heart beat powerfully in the bright daylight. This acute point shone like an eternal star, radiating ever more brilliantly. Su Poman's aura continued to rise, his physical strength ascending to a new level. Even in his normal state, his strength, defense, and speed reached the same level as his previous Super Saiyan transformation. The immortal star god body is truly miraculous. He opened his eyes, a light hundreds of feet long radiating from them. Then, with a deep breath, the divine light in his eyes and the light from the astral acute point simultaneously receded. Too many clones have perished. I'll go meet them in person. With a wave of his hand, Su Poman, using his authority as the master of the heavenly treasure pagoda, sealed Yan Lingzi directly into the tower's heart, rendering him unable to sense the outside world. This little old man, always worrying about my demise, is getting in the way. You'd better stay put in the tower. Su Poman possessed many means of survival, but this wasn't easy to explain. Whenever he challenged an opponent of superior cultivation, Tian Lingzi would constantly nag him, urging him to run, offering discouraging words like as long as you have the Green Mountains, you'll never worry about the firewood. This irritated him greatly. I'm approaching Silver Super, possessing various other bloodlines and a resurrection point. How could I be so cowardly? If it weren't for the little old man's constant obstruction, urging him to cultivate and ascend to the immortal realm, Su Poman would have long since exploited the Super Saiyan's explosive power after near-death injury to become a top-tier powerhouse in the Kyanigan realm, possessing immortal-level combat power. Now that his cultivation had reached the Mahayana stage, there was no need for deliberate practice. Just like a superhuman body, if it were allowed to develop for 100 years, it would naturally reach a critical point. In the days ahead, it would be time to wander around and explore the entire Kyanigan realm. Ideally, he could find a way back to Blue Star. Chapter 297 Battle. Su Poman raised his hand, and a magnificent, 3-meter-tall dimensional portal suddenly appeared before him. Its border was entwined with patterns that exuded a special aura, and in its center lay a pitch-black, bottomless vortex. Stepping inside, the surrounding space spun rapidly like a kaleidoscope, twisting large stars into tiny, firefly-like specks. Amidst a starry sky filled with the shadows of purple mandala flowers, a dimensional portal quietly opened. At the same moment, the Sky Witch turned her head to gaze into the void behind her, her lips curling as she whispered, "The fish has taken the bait." Her figure gradually faded, vanishing in an instant. When she reappeared, she saw Su Poman stepping out of the dimensional portal. The Fox Demon King followed, her thigh-high slit skirt emitting a pink sheen, as if a special effect of the precious garment. The faint, delicate pink sheen caught Su Poman's eye, even as he had just arrived. Mahayana stage? Sister Shyansha, are you mistaken? Her beautiful eyes widened, her face filled with confusion. The seventh Demon King and the Demon Fire Venerable also stared at Su Poman with scrutiny, sensing nothing unusual. They remained silent, waiting for the Sky Demon Lady's orders. A cultivator at this level could easily wipe out a vast swath with a single wave of their hands. No mistake, the Sky Demon Lady touched the two-pointed horns on her head and said with conviction, "My Sky Demon clan possesses a special sensory ability that allows us to discern the connection between him and those demon-suppressing envoys. Even if he's not the original avatar, he must be connected." Hey, Su Poman laughed heartily. "So you were waiting for me? What a coincidence. I came looking for you. How dare he be so arrogant? Isn't he afraid of death?" The Fox Demon King's face showed a look of confusion, then he chuckled softly, covering his lips. Su Poman turned, gazing at the scantily clad Fox Demon King with a half-smile. "Haha, the word fear isn't even in my vocabulary. You fox-eared girl look quite good. Why don't you serve me as a flute-playing maid? Bah! You rascal. You may not be very capable, but you're quite arrogant. How dare a mere Mahayana cultivator flirt with me? Seventh brother, help me vent my anger and teach him a lesson." A seasoned warrior, the Fox Demon King naturally understood the deeper meaning behind his words. She couldn't help but spit, her pretty face flushing red and white with anger, her eyes gleaming with murderous intent. Over the years, countless cultivators had fallen at her feet, but this was the first time anyone had dared to tease her like this. The seventh Demon King didn't attack. Instead, the pitch-black monster beneath him seemed captivated, opening its maw and roaring with visible sound waves from its jagged, sharp, and drooling mouth. Su Po's eyes flashed red as he grinned. "You beast. My master hasn't even made a move, yet you're already using your mouth." As he spoke, heat rays from his eyes flashed like two towering pillars of light, instantly reaching the dark monster. Just as the situation reached its peak, the green-browed youth waved his hand gently, and a barrier of green demonic energy suddenly appeared between the two. With a sizzling sound, the heat rays seared the demonic energy barrier, like water vapor encountering a fierce fire, producing a fierce reaction. The green-browed youth frowned slightly. A hint of shock etched in his gaze. He hadn't expected a Mahayana cultivator to achieve such impressive attack power. If he had held back even a little, he might have been unable to withstand the two strange beams of light. Remember, he was a seventh tribulation loose immortal. To be able to destroy the demonic energy barrier he had erected to such an extent meant his skills were at least at the level of a sixth tribulation loose immortal. A sixth tribulation loose immortal. Just one realm below him. The most shocking thing was that the human cultivator before him was only at the Mahayana stage. How many realms have he surpassed? This boy is truly strange. Be careful. After releasing this barrier of demonic energy, the seventh Demon King did not attack, but instead set his sights on the Sky Shad Witch. Anyone who could cultivate to this level possessed certain tactics and ways of self-preservation. Knowing that their opponent was treacherous, they should have let the taller one take the lead. The Sky Shad Witch carefully studied Su Poman and sneered, "You're quite capable indeed. But if that's all you've got, then this day next year will be your death anniversary." By the time her words reached Su Poman's ears, the purple-clad witch had vanished. A slender, jade-like hand, breaking through the air, gently reached for his chest. Purple mandala flowers, rimmed with gold, quietly blossomed from its fingertips. Su Poman felt a flash of light before the explosion in front of him, sending him flying backwards like a cannonball. Rumble. Asteroids were blasted with holes. Su Poman felt a tightness in his chest, as if his internal organs were being torn apart. A mouthful of blood surged in his throat, as if he had downed 8 bottles of beer in one breath. This woman is so strong, she broke through the bioforce field in one go and shattered my sternum. Is this the power of the law? As he flew backwards, his eyes gleamed, his thoughts racing. It didn't break apart. Your body is quite impressive. Is body refinement your strength? The Sky Demoness bared her 8 brilliant silver teeth and said with a cold smile. Then I will shatter your body inch by inch, and then extract your spirit. Then, the secret method of clones will be mine. As he spoke, Su Poman's internal injuries had almost healed thanks to his powerful healing ability. He quickly stopped his backward flight, took a deep breath, clenched his fists, and roared, "Aha!" Su Poman's eyes gradually lit up with a white light, his pupils gradually fading into the white glow. Then, his hair stood upright, and a faint golden aura permeated his body, its color slowly turning golden. Meteorite fragments trembled around him, then, in a surge of air, transformed into meteors that flew into the depths of the starry sky. A massive column of white energy shot up into the sky, seemingly reaching from the heavens to the underworld. An ordinary cultivator would have no idea where it ended. Within the column of light, Su Poman's body was encircled by flaming golden energy, with occasional flashes of bluish-white lightning. His figure grew taller, his muscles swelled, and the air surged, forming miniature hurricanes. His golden hair stood up like an explosion, and beneath his golden eyebrows were eyes filled with white light. He looked like an ancient god descended to earth. Immediately, a pair of golden dragon wings, approximately 4 meters long, unfurled behind him. Any remaining injuries to his body instantly healed. 2 crimson pupils appeared in his eye sockets, filled with white light, and 2 sharp fangs, brimming with bloodthirstiness, burst forth from his mouth. Doomsday, zombie progenitor form, Su Poman's aura was like a deity descended upon the world. The aura emanating from his blood sent all the alien beasts in the star region into a state of panic, causing them to faint. The pitch-black monster beneath the 7th Demon Emperor seemed frightened, its mountain-like body trembling like a defeated dog with its tail between its legs. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 298 Desperate Situation? The Sky Shadowmaness gazed at the scene before her, her pretty face as frosty as ice, a solemn expression in her eyes. The other people also expressed profound surprise. They had cultivated for countless years and witnessed countless talented individuals, but never had they seen someone at the Mahayana stage unleash such terrifying aura. Against the backdrop of a vast, starry sky, Su Poman's golden dragon wings fluttered gently, and pale lightning flashed around him, each wielding a terrifying aura. Large stars appeared behind him, as if summoned from thin air. The stars hummed and shrank, converging into chains of nebulae. Each speck of dust within the nebulae was formed from the condensation of a single star. Snap! A crisp sound ripped the star field apart. Hundreds of millions of miles of space exploded simultaneously, and countless materials were reduced to dust and swallowed up by the void. At the same time, Su Poman's heart tightened, and he thought inwardly, I didn't expect it to be so powerful. If it hurts innocent people, it'll be disastrous. I'd better control my power and try not to leak it out. At this moment, a massive vortex appeared in the field, churning void and fragments of form, swallowing the 4 demons before him. Before the 7th Demon King could say anything, the black monster had already fled into the distance with lightning speed, tail between its legs. Just as the demon fire venerable's face flickered with sarcasm, a long chain whip shimmering with starlight flashed out from the vortex and pierced straight through his chest. The immense force caused terrifying cracks to appear all over his body. How is this possible? The demon fire venerable glanced down at the nebula chain whip, his face filled with disbelief. His eyes widened as he followed the nebula to the other side. Su Poman's mouth opened, revealing 2 long canine teeth, and a strange smile appeared. He moved his mouth, but instead of speaking, he made a mouth shape. Die! With that, he gave a seemingly slow jerk of his arm, and a powerful light emanated from the nebula chains. Ripples rose and fell like a mighty wave, rising higher and higher, and in an instant, they reached the Devil Fire Venerable. With a piercing crackle, the Devil Fire Venerable's body shattered into pieces, transforming into dark, charred chunks of rock. Meanwhile, a flaming figure darted away, oblivious to the chaotic void, vanishing into thin shadow across the starry battlefield. This is terrifying. What kind of method could have so easily annihilated a 7 Tribulations loose demon? The Fox Demon King's face paled, a wave of fear rising within him. Not far away, the witch Ayansha touched the pointed horns on her head, with a look of realization in her eyes. The law of the stars is actually the power of the law of the physical body. How strange. It is rumored that only the fairy world can give birth to such a monster with affinity for the power of the law. How could this person be born in the lower world? She licked her lips. Although she felt a little apprehensive in her heart, she did not feel afraid. Instead, a trace of desire arose in her heart. The 7th Demon Emperor was also surprised, but not panicked. A purple light flickered in his demonic pupils, as if he had grasped something. He calmed the giant black monster beneath him, then with a wave of his hand, contained it within a teapot-shaped vessel. He then sent a message to the pink-dressed woman. Zaya Ojiu, don't be too nervous. That fool, Mahou, was too careless. If we had resisted with the power of the law, we wouldn't have lost a Dharma body. This person seems to possess a strange power of the law, comparable to ours. And after consumption, it's running low. I'm afraid he won't be able to unleash the kind of attack he just did anytime soon. I see, 7th brother, you really scared me to death just now. The Fox Demon Emperor's pretty face flushed slightly, his expression endearing. In reality, for scattered demons and immortals, the Dharma body is merely a vessel for their immortal infants. It's not like the physical body of an ordinary cultivator, which, once destroyed, loses 99% of its combat power. Though the Demon Fire Venerable suffered a tragic fate, it wasn't a major blow to him. After returning, he could quickly refine a new body with precious materials. As the two exchanged words, the Sky Demoness struck again, leaping across space and instantly appearing behind Su Poman. Bang! Her jade hand, clutching a purple flower, struck Su Poman's back like a sledgehammer. A force imbued with the aura of death quietly erupted, instantly ripping through his biofield. Then, plunging through him, it instantly tore a hole as wide as a bucket, through and through. Blood stained the sky. Initially, Su Poman felt no pain, but upon looking down at the vanished flesh on his chest, An intense pain instantly washed over him. A flash of red flashed in his eyes, and he vanished instantly. A cruel smile played on the sky demoness's lips, and she vanished immediately after. When Su Poman reappeared, the flesh and bones on his chest had fully recovered, though his skin looked a bit childish. The sky demoness slowly emerged before him, a look of surprise on her face. You've recovered in such a short time. Did you use some secret technique? Or is it the secret of your body? Purple vines sealed off the surrounding space. The aura of death carried a corrosive, gray energy. Any living thing that entered this area would be devoured and transformed into part of death. Hiss. Su Poman's face darkened as two crimson lasers, like divine light, blazed from his eyes. Ha ha ha! With a silvery laugh, the purple-clad woman vanished again. The two lasers, undiminished in momentum, struck the purple vines, seemingly passing through a phantom, leaving them harmless. How naive! Don't you know that the only way to counter the power of the law is to use it? The voice of the heavenly demon woman echoed from the surrounding space, her words barely concealing her disdain for Su Poman, like a high and mighty ruler looking down upon an ignorant beggar. Su Poman was seething with anger. He wanted to hack the demon woman into pieces, but the previous blow from the nebula chain had already emptied every drop of the star power stored in his astral orifices. At that moment, he felt a soft, cool touch against his neck, and with a flick of his mind, he saw the purple-clad demon woman grasping his neck from behind. That hand was imbued with the power of the law, and the deadly threat caused Su Poman's pores to contract, and goosebumps to form all over his body, as if any resistance would lead to ruthless destruction. How boring. I thought you could escape, but you didn't expect it to be so soon. It seems that there is no point in killing them. The face of the Scientia witch showed a smug look. While speaking, she glanced at the seventh Demon King and the Fox Demon King in the distance, and a trace of murderous intent flashed in her eyes. You want to kill me? At this moment, Su Poman became quiet. His arms dropped down, and he slowly withdrew from the transformed form. He raised his eyebrows and asked calmly. The Scientia witch chuckled and laughed with a neurotic laugh. Her whole body shook with laughter. The pair of snow-white breasts on her leather tights almost jumped out due to her movements. Ha ha ha, it has come to this, and you still fantasize that I will let you go? You are so naive. Chapter 299 Blood Rebirth. Su Poman's eyes were calm, a faint smile on his lips. He said teasingly, you can try. Can you kill me? As he finished speaking, a powerful force suddenly erupted from his neck. As the force grew, a tooth-grinding crackling sound echoed, as if it weren't flesh being squeezed, but an extremely powerful celestial treasure. Ahem, cough, cough. Quickly, use the power of your laws. You can't kill me with just this little bit of strength. Su Poman's eyes were filled with mockery. The Witch of Heaven's Destruction, observing Su Poman's confident demeanor, was momentarily perplexed and puzzled. However, the arrow was already on the string and had to be released. With a cold smile, she said with a hint of irritation, all right, then I'll grant your wish. First, I'll destroy your body, then I'll extract your spirit and slowly heal it. A wave of corruption emanated from her palm, and dark purple lines instantly spread from Su Poman's neck. Buzz! The dark purple lines brightened for a moment, and then with a roar, the power of the laws shattered Su Poman's body into a bloody mist. The surrounding wisps of blood energy were filled with a scent of blood. The Scientia witch closed her eyes, as if enjoying a spray of perfume. At the same time, she extended her left hand, reaching into the void, and softly called out, Soul Recruitment, a strange power, specifically targeting the soul, quickly spread out, sealing off the void in all directions. Huh? At that moment, the Scientia witch suddenly opened her eyes and gazed at a starry sky behind her. There, cells contained in particles of blood energy devoured the surrounding energy, emitting a brilliant divine light. Rebirth through a drop of blood, her eyes flashed with confusion. How dare you perform such a secret technique right under my nose? Aren't you afraid I'll stop you? Although this technique is rare, it has significant drawbacks. It usually consumes a significant amount of spiritual energy. This is good. It saves me from having to search his soul. Once his spirit is depleted, I can simply cast a spell to bewitch him and extract all his secrets. Besides, even if he regains his physical form, what good will it do? He still can't escape my grasp. Hey, the Scientia witch shook her head and chuckled. She folded her arms, squeezing the snow-white peaks, and waited calmly. The starlight of the entire Kyanigan realm seemed to be drawn to it, transforming into streams of brilliant light that descended from the void onto the starry battlefield. For a moment, a dazzling array of light burst forth, filling the blood mist with a dazzling radiance, as if a divine treasure had been born. Light and shadow slowly coalesced into an ethereal figure, and then, amidst a flurry of light and movement, Su Poman's form emerged. He now closed his eyes tightly, his aura rising steadily, seemingly without end. Every cell within his body was constantly strengthened by a strange force, his entire body aura forming purple-white lightning. With a crackling sound, a purple-white thundercloud emerged, and Su Poman's aura seemed to have broken through some barrier, reaching a new level. Not far away, the seventh demon emperor gazed at the scene with a solemn expression. Resurrection from the dead, and even stronger? What kind of secret technique is this? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Every secret technique like this has a price. This person is just trying to hold on, the fox demon emperor. Dressed in a pink dress, stated with conviction, the nine-tailed phantom behind her swaying slightly. The heavenly demon woman was surprised, but she showed no fear. The moment Su Poman appeared, she extended her jade hand again and clenched it forcefully into the air. Outside the ball of lightning, deep purple mandragora flowers rapidly condensed, their vines and branches instantly contracting, strangling Su Poman within the thundercloud. Crackling. Puff, puff, puff. The void exploded, lightning burst forth. In a moment, the lightning in that area vanished completely, as if completely annihilated by the power of the law of death. No movement. Is he dead? The fox demon emperor's beautiful eyes fixed on that direction, her unparalleled spiritual sense instantly spreading. Something's wrong. The sky demon woman, still unable to detect Su Poman, dodged to the spot where the thundercloud had once been. With a flick of her finger, a vast rift opened in the air. Did you really think I couldn't find you hiding in the void? She snorted coldly, extending her arm and gently scooping through the air. She snatched up a ball of shimmering, fine dust particles. Still thinking of using the same tactics as before? Haha, I won't give you another chance this time, the sky demon sneered, attempting to extract the spirit hidden within the dust. Tisk tisk, you woman do have some tricks, Su Poman's voice suddenly emanated from the dust. But, you're dreaming of catching me. Going away, I won't play with you anymore. I'll come back for you later. With these words, the dust grew dim, and the spirit energy within it vanished. The sky demoness's pretty face froze, her expression utterly grim. She hadn't expected to be tricked by a mere Mahayana cultivator. She was like a leopard on the verge of exploding with rage. A suppressed aura emanated from her, sending a shiver through the two nearby demon kings. They quickly feigned counting ants and stars, minimizing their presence, fearing the eight tribulations demon would vent his wrath upon them. Let's go. We must find this man. I will extract his soul, refine his spirit, and seal him within a heavenly lantern to torture him for 1,000,000 years. The sky demoness gnashed her teeth, her beautiful face distorted and terrifying as she spoke. The seventh demon king and the fox demon king quickly agreed, not daring to disobey. The three set out again, this time targeting the human star region. After they left, an ordinary piece of rubble hundreds of thousands of miles away suddenly took on a stronger aura, slowly emitting a multicolored glow. Then, with a wriggling movement, it transformed into Su Poman's form. Alice. My survival abilities are too strong. I thought she'd kill me, letting me experience resurrection, but she only severely injured me and ultimately failed to detect my presence. The combination of the ancient divine power level breath containment technique and the 72 transformations is truly an impeccable means of survival. Su Poman sighed softly, his figure gradually blurring, disappearing in a subtle spatial fluctuation. 30 billion kilometers from the interstellar battlefield, within a star, Su Poman was enveloped in blazing stellar energy. His indestructible star god body and superhuman physique rapidly repaired his previous injuries. In less than 3 minutes, his injuries were completely healed. Furthermore, thanks to his Super Saiyan physique, Su Poman's combat power had been further enhanced, his strength and defense significantly increased. In his normal state, he could rival a 5 tribulations loose immortal. Feeling the abundant energy coursing through his limbs and bones, Su Poman's mind moved, and a flaming current erupted around him. His hair immediately stood upright, a white electric light enveloped his body, and his muscles flexed as he entered Super Saiyan form. Looks like I can activate Super Saiyan 2. Let's give it a try. Su Poman's eyes were filled with eagerness. Once he entered Super Saiyan 2, his combat power would be exponentially increased, making battles against alien masters much easier. Chapter 300 Transformation. Super Saiyan 2. Under the radiant starry sky, Su Poman hovered in midair, his sleeves swirling in an invisible current. He pondered for a moment, clearing his mind of chaotic thoughts, then slowly clenched his fingers. A powerful aura erupted as he clenched his fists. Su Poman's once standing golden hair now flared like a torch, wild and flowing. His godlike eyes, once filled with white light, now shone with a brighter hue. Ahoho! A furious roar erupted from his mouth, earth-shaking. The light in his eyes began as tiny pinpoints, then gradually expanded into a wheel, finally enveloping him in a shimmering azure light. Boom! A series of explosions erupted, centered on Su Poman's body. A bluish-white ball of unstable energy formed, then rippled and expanded, spreading out in waves of pale golden energy. Wherever the wave passed, meteorites and asteroids were sent flying. Green, blue, and purple light alternately illuminated the world, and the colors of the world shifted with the light, like a ghostly layer, shadows flickering and the light fading. After a few breaths, the light suddenly converged into a single point, transforming into a mighty wave of energy surrounding Su Poman. His hair had turned from golden yellow to yellow-green, and tiny specks of star-like light emanated from his body. Every inch of his flesh seemed to contain a force powerful enough to shatter the world. An overwhelming sense of power filled Su Poman's heart. He felt that this transformation had multiplied his strength, speed, and defense, his combat prowess beyond compare. At this moment, he felt as if his power had reached another realm, as if it were connected to a strange wave. Su Poman raised his right hand, placed it before his eyes, and examined it carefully. The light in his pupils belied the joy in his eyes. This should be considered the law of power, right? With a gentle wave of his hand, a transparent, invisible wave of energy spread out from the biological body. Boom! Hundreds of thousands of kilometers away, a massive white dwarf exploded under the influence of this transparent wave. Haha, I'm one step closer to becoming invincible in the lower realms. Perhaps with a doomsday transformation, I can defeat that witch. Thinking of this, Su Poman's mind moved, and he manipulated the power of his Superman body and Pangu body, merging them with the power of his Super Saiyan S cells. Previously, his Superman body had fused with the blood of the first generation of Pangu to create the Doomsday Zombie progenitor form, his most powerful form. Now that his Saiyan body had reached the limit of fusion, if these three physiques could be combined, an even more powerful form would surely be created. Lines of blood emerged from Su Poman's body, converging at his chest. A ruby-like light burst forth from his powerful heart. He felt his blood almost boiling. Just as he felt the final blow, the momentum he had gathered suddenly dropped, and the red light gradually dimmed, his efforts failing. It failed. It must be because the Superman's body is too strong. The Super Saiyan's physique is also very masculine. Only the first generation of Pangu has a yin bloodline. While it's not weak, it's not at its peak form, so it can't play a role in harmonizing. I guess it will need to absorb the blood of many higher beings to fully unleash the power of its bloodline. That's too slow. Let's use energy crystals to strengthen it. It's a one-stop solution. It would be best if we also strengthen our bloodline ability. Time stop. Su Poman exited Super Saiyan 2 form and activated the purple source roulette with his mind. He slowly closed his eyes and lightly tapped the word strengthen. But after a strange wave, the energy crystals on the light screen instantly decreased by 100 points. Click, 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 the ancient and mysterious wheel spun rapidly. Light and shadows representing different abilities flickered on it, constantly evolving and disappearing, constantly changing. Please confirm the strengthening target. Zombie Covenant, the first generation of Pangu bloodline, confirm that the strengthening target this time is Zombie Covenant, the first generation of Pangu bloodline, establishing a law link, strengthening on the original basis. Ding, spend 100 energy crystals, strengthening successful. Your first generation Pangu bloodline has been promoted. You have obtained the Pangu Zombie God bloodline. The original bloodline ability has been enhanced. The body is immortal. The soul can be eliminated, but the true spirit is indestructible. Even if the myriad worlds return to chaos, as long as there is blood, there is still a chance of rebirth and return. All things in the world. 9. Foot Devil Flame, you gain new abilities. Blood control, blood energy conversion, blood control, can control the blood in the body of any flesh and blood creature within sight. Explosion, reverse flow, extraction, 1% of the blood law. Blood energy conversion, can convert blood into any energy it needs. 10% blood principle, netherworld power, harness the power of ghosts and gods, reaching down into the netherworld. Any attack you unleash will have the effect of shattering souls and exorcising evil spirits. Void travel, your physical speed is enough to pierce the void, causing it to flicker and traverse space at will. 10% space principle, shapeshift, transform into a myriad of yin-attributed forms, including mist, bats, shadows, ghouls, skeleton dragons, and the undead. Telekinesis, interfere with all things with your mind, causing the void to blossom and even turning mountains and rivers upside down. Teleport, transmigrate instantly through space with your mind, instantly moving to any location within a radius of 1 billion miles. If your mind's perception reaches a random destination, your destination will be rerouted. Half-space principle, dark vortex, draw your opponent into a dark world, severely impairing their consciousness and 5 senses. Yin thunder sky strike, transform your energy into a wide-ranging yin thunder, annihilating all living things. Defense shield, automatically generates a shield equal to the body's defense. Once broken, it automatically refreshes within 3 breaths. Time stop, freezes time within the range of your mind's movement. 10% of the time law, fly, allows swift escaping through the universe. Moon gazing and swallowing, devours the inattributed moon and stars to strengthen the body. Note, the power of the law is measured in 10 levels. Comprehending 10 levels is considered perfection, and one has mastered the power of a complete law, achieving the realm of a celestial immortal. Purple source roulette, name, Su Poman, realm, Middle Mahayana, skill, star transformation, bloodline. Bronze Superman body, 100%, Pangu zombie god bloodline, 100%, ancient Saiyan bloodline, 100%, immortal star god body, 100%, abilities. 1. Bronze Superman template, possessing all the abilities of a Bronze Age Superman, and can cultivate to the Silver Age on his own. 2. Soul devouring, reverse soul method. 3. Infinite resurrection. 4. Pangu zombie god body. 5. Soul space. 6. Eye of judgment. 7. 72 transformations. 8. Spirit shadow clone. 9. Vega template, possessing all the abilities of an evil little mage, current number of extraordinary evil layers. 999 plus, energy crystal, minimum 1 energy crystal can be extracted strengthened once, quantity that can be extracted strengthened. 0, current extraction target, none at this time. Su Poman exuded a godly aura, and his facial features became more refined and ethereal. His blood-red pupils transformed into a brilliant golden hue. A dense forest of demons filled the space behind him. 9-foot-tall blood-red demonic flames burned above his head, making him look like a king of blood. A bloodline named after Pangu is truly extraordinary. I wonder if I'll ever have the chance to draw upon the physique of Pangu, the creator of the prehistoric world. The golden light in Su Po's eyes faded, and the strange visions around him dissipated. He felt the surge of power within him. Activating his supervision, he peered across infinite distances, catching sight of a planet plagued by demons and causing unbearable suffering for humanity. He extended his right hand and gently flicked his palm into the air. In the next instant, on that distant demon planet, the monsters' bodies shrank at an alarming rate, collapsing to the ground like shrunken eggplants. Blood and energy converged, illuminating the entire sky in a bluish-purple hue. The blood of these monsters was bluish-purple. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.